Not yet.
Not yet.
Did you say we're good?
We're good.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the September 6th Planning Board meeting. I'm the chair, Mindy Warder, and we're waiting on one person, but we do have a quorum, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anyone have any amendments to the agenda? Jill had asked that we table the acceptance of the minutes from the last meeting as she did not have them completed. I think she was waiting on some other documents from board members.
Okay.
Do we have to make a motion on that, or?
A motion to table the the minutes from August 2nd.
Second.
All those in favor? The minute taker's not here yet either.
Right.
I'll write that down.
John and Brian.
All right. Continuing business, Barry Baldwin and the Mineral Springs Estates application. Welcome back.
Ran out the door.
Oh, all right.
He's coming right back.
Shutting his headlights off.
So I typed everything up that I had written from the last meeting for Ann. I don't know if you guys did anything with it in August, but I don't have it.
It's all right, left my lights on out there.
All right.
So last month we basically tabled this until we had
Okay.
this document.
And you guys didn't see this before now.
No.
Okay.
Just trying to plow through.
Sorry
it
about that.
now.
We're gonna review that
Do
letter.
we have time
You've already
to
read it.
read this, or?
I have, yes.
Okay.
We got, there's only three of you, but I got some new plans too. Calvin, where's this one over there? Thank you.
So we have a new plan?
Yeah, just
New-
with added from the wastewater management. Stormwater.
Stormwater. So you don't have your permit yet, Bill? Or you do?
No, the stormwater permit, it's basically been reviewed and accepted, but you know how it is. that
Still in
Getting the
processing.
written permit seems like that's half the battle these days.
Mm-hmm.
Mindy, is there any chance we could just take
Nah,
3 minutes to read this?
Yeah, I think you guys need to read it. We are reviewing the letter from John Conway. Gotcha. So John and Brian haven't seen this yet, so
Mm-hmm.
this is their first time seeing it.
I was hoping to be in the packet when it showed up.
I had asked that it get put in the
You
packet.
saw this. You showed this to him.
Did not happen, obviously.
well, I can take a quick look at it, but I don't know
Could
that.
I have just forwarded it? Should I have just forwarded it?
That doesn't really affect you.
Was it on my meeting? Do you have an extra copy of the letter? It should be. Did you have stuff there?
Oh, this one.
typed up, I realized as I was here that what I typed up, I didn't, and sent to you, I didn't print out for myself, but I have my, I have the hard copy of the notes that I took in June. Okay. But I
So we
realized
didn't do anything at the last meeting because we didn't have this yet.
Yeah. So whatever I sent you should be the most up to date. I don't know if it got printed out, which I printed it out. Did that one?
See?
Probably get it on my phone. Maybe.
Actually, the checklist was in with the packet from,
Last month.
yes, right there. This is- Copies of this. Let's see if Calvin can make copies of this. You got this one, Andy?
I mean, I typed it up, but I don't have a copy of it.
I can make a copy.
I typed it up like 2 months ago.
Oh, I've got a copy. Is this it?
Yes.
Do you have it? Do you want to make 2 copies for
The checklist?
Yeah.
Great.
Your pen.
It's gonna be one of those nights. Cute. So it looks like we have left that it conforms with the ordinance, comp plan, and land use ordinance.
Right. While we wait for that, can you describe what changed on this plan, just so we all understand what
Yeah.
was updated?
Absolutely.
Stormwater?
So the only thing that changed on that plan will be if you look at the first lot in on the left, which is actually not part of the subdivision, but it's a lot owned by Mr. Baldwin, that 5.17 acres. There is now, on the bottom of the lot, there is a stormwater buffer easement down there, which will treat, that buffer is going to treat a portion of the newly created impervious area for the road construction. And then if you go up to lot 5, you will see another stormwater buffer area, which is also going to treat stormwater from the new roadway. And then if you also look at from the boundary of lot 5, I guess we're going north and northeast with the rest of the road. That whole section of roadway is going to be treated by what we call a roadside buffer. So the road's actually being built on a ridge, and so there's no ditches. And so the stormwater there is just gonna run off the road and then into a 50-foot wide buffer that starts actually from the edge of the right-of-way, so that, you know, there'll be some grass to slow it down on the end of at the edge of the road, and then it goes right into the undisturbed woods, except for that buffer does allow for driveway crossings of 20 feet in width, at any point along that, so he'll probably have 2 driveways on the left-hand side, and then there won't be a driveway on the right-hand side, because that driveway's gotta go in further.
That's
further
the highest
south.
spot, yep.
So,
And so these were chosen because they're thought, at least the ones on lot 5 and the lot that's not numbered were chose just because they're low-lying areas that you expect.
Yep, those
to be the
line,
natural
those
catchments.
line up right with where we place the culvert, so we ditch down to the culvert, and then the culvert comes in, and then we go into a level lip spreader, which is just a big stone sort of basin that kind of fills up with the water, and then slowly diffuses it turns it back into sheet flow, and then as the sheet flow goes down the buffer, that's undisturbed buffer, and that's actually the preferred method. DEP now prefers buffers in all subdivisions for treatment measures, because they're finding over the last 5 or 6 years that structural methods such as ponds, bioretention gardens, things like that, don't get maintained very well, especially in rural areas. So this is, this was almost a rubber stamp type of thing. They reviewed it. They actually reviewed it at the submittal meeting and gave me the sign off. So we're just waiting for the permit to be written.
Great.
So what delineates that buffer?
So
In construction.
Yep, so that's actually spelled out in the permit. Usually you put a pin, so these will go out when, at final acceptance, they'll go out and they'll put a pin, an iron pin prior to lot construction. So part of the DEP permit's gonna say, prior to disturbance on the lot, the buffers need to be pinned at the corners. And then we also prepare like a little, when you get your deed, when you buy the lot, it actually shows like a little 8.5 by 11 picture of the lot. And it says, there's a buffer here, you can't disturb this. So it has to be part of the deed that they get when they buy the lot, so they understand that they were informed that that buffer is there.
So this is the first time I see this plan, and I haven't been able to check it against the regs, but in lot number 5, you have the constructible lot within the stormwater buffer.
Yeah, see, really what that line should be trimmed out within that buffer, so that, the lot 5 area would be the edge of the buffer, and then the setback line.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's
Yeah.
not clear here that
Yeah.
that's the case.
You said you don't have the permit yet. Waiting on it still.
Yeah, right, we don't actually have the written permit in hand.
I think we previously said that would just be a condition that's listed on that list of that sheet of conditions.
Yeah, that's how a lot of places do it.
You don't have to wait for Calvin.
So, what do we have left? I think the road was our last piece.
Right.
And the, well, I don't know, the backlot discussion.
Right, so I think,
Whether or not this falls under backlot, can you consider backlot noise?
I can call on the phone.
That's the original.
It actually says it's not to be disturbed.
You got an extra one, I'll take it away. Yeah.
Technical.
Oh, no, this
you need one more.
extra paper.
That's conditions, right?
I guess I can make a copy of that one. Thank you.
All right, so if I remember right, our questions on the road were first establishing that it counts as a town road, It counts as a access, established access.
Right.
Rights to access.
Right, the folks would be able to get to the subdivision. Yep.
Right. Second question was, I guess, what do we do for maintenance to make sure that the folks who purchase lots there can have the rights to have fire equipment, emergency response to their site? How we ensure that, right?
Yeah, and I don't think we can. Because we can't require them to maintain it because it's not their road. So I think I would rather just address that with like a buyer beware and have them label it on the plan. Because it sounds like they've been figuring it out how to keep it maintained all along. But I don't think we can require them to maintain it. So that's probably how I'd deal with that one, is have them show it on the plan.
You're referring to the discontinued section?
Right. Yeah, we can, Mr. Baldwin, we can ask to build a town road to a standard that the fire chief and everyone else has approved and is established as best practice and whatnot, but when you have this piece of road that comes in that he doesn't own.
Right, as I think the attorney stated in his letter, that I make, as long as I make the road safe, in other words, the same width as what it's supposed to be, and they can pass fire trucks on it, 2 lanes. I think that was pretty much what he said, as long as the road was built or made it safe. And I believe that's what they're talking about, being wide enough to accommodate trucks, even fire. I think they use a term of fire trucks passing each other even
Right.
when they're going.
So
I know, it's dumb that we can.
he's not real clear though, because he said, often in the case, towns will require some offsite improvements for safety purposes in accessing a subdivision. While this may not be a requirement that the road be built to town standards, it could certainly include, so that piece he seems to say that we can.
Require that it be built up to road standards?
Well, we can require some improvements.
Right. And I've already agreed to that, and that's part of our plan.
Right, and you've expressed that before.
Right.
Would that be like a condition? Can we make that a condition?
That's what I
When-
was thinking.
When my road gets built and inspected, they can inspect that part of the, even though it's not my road, it's my access road, that'll have to be acceptable at the same time.
The discontinued road.
Right.
I mean, I would be in favor of asking Mr. Baldwin to make some improvements to that road to meet the width requirements. We know the existing road base is there. It is what it is for road base. It is for what it is for its grade and all of those other requirements. But I think at a minimum, it needs to be maintained for width and drainage, appropriate drainage, so it doesn't wash out in an emergency.
And the engineer has already addressed that with me. He's making suggestions on how I stabilize that in that worst part by CMP. And Calvin, I believe, went up and looked at the road for someone else, but it is built all the way up to almost the power line to the full width. I did that years ago. It's
Okay.
grown in with grass, but
Sure.
once I put equipment on there to widen that out, to get rid of that grass, the road committee or whoever looks at it will see exactly what's going on there. It was built 24 feet where I did it all the way up through.
So what about maintenance?
So we had a copy of, we had a copy of his road maintenance agreement,
Right.
and but it only covers
That subdivision road.
subdivision road itself, is it the way it's written currently, right?
Correct. That's right.
And I think according to the legal opinion, that's all we can ask for, I think.
Yeah.
Right, no, but where Ann's going is,
Yeah.
Barry can fix the road now, but then, you know, then the subdivision's got, or what's their responsibility as subdivision owners?
It's
to
gonna be
continue it.
even tough for me to require homeowners
No,
to legally, for me to have them binding to
right,
fix that road. But,
How is
and
it,
eventually there'll be other people on that road that, other than my subdivision. I mean, there's a lot of land up there. There's gonna be more things, you know, in the future, I'm sure.
do you solely maintain that road now, or?
Not much, just, I built it, pretty much, but I plow it sometimes, a neighbor that lives
Okay.
there plows it sometimes, but I am preparing, and I'm also telling the people that I've sold land to or am selling to, that I'm gonna maintain that road personally for 2 years. So, and I have bought 2 trucks, size of town plow trucks with wing and the whole 9 yards, so I'm fully prepared to maintain that road. All of it. And then, I mean, I understand what you're saying, somebody's gonna have to realize that somebody has to keep that road open. I mean, if it's built, you know, as it is, almost right to the power line, I have to finish it. But they maintain it now because people live there. I mean, somebody's gonna plow that road. It's not like they're all gonna be sitting there in a snowstorm saying, you know, I'm not plowing it. You're gonna.
You'd be surprised what people do.
Oh, I know. It's not a family deal.
Been involved in enough road association disputes. I guess I'm at the point where I just want it on the plan so that any buyer knows that this isn't a town road. There's no guarantee that it's going to be maintained. And they take that risk if they buy in that subdivision.
Typically, banks won't lend money until they've resolved that issue themselves, so it might be the buyers, when they go to buy these lots, probably will come back to, it'll come down to they'll want that, the banks will require that.
In the deeds, in my deed even, it spells out the rights to that road and what it is and when it happened and why it is accessible and all that. So it's, and that subdivision was facing the same deal that I faced when I bought that land, and the people on the other side, it's pretty much the same deal for everybody.
I know they're very strict on it now, the banks, since the crash, they don't really touch private roads without those agreements in place, so.
So does that mean we're gonna have a scenario where we have people living in a subdivision and they can't access their road, and then they're coming to the town and asking for help, and then what is the
Well,
That's what always happens.
I think if,
And then they want the town to plow it, and then in order to plow it, the town has to accept it, and it's in crappy shape, which is why we have all the requirements in the subdivision ordinance.
right?
But in this case, it's a little bit unconventional in the sense that there's a private road going into his private road that doesn't control necessarily, so. I mean, I think the condition on the plan would go a long way in addressing that. At least alerting potential buyers that there may be an issue of.
I mean, I'm not,
so I
just wanna
mean,
make sure that that continues to be communicated, you know, if someone buys and then they sell it, and then the next buyer is not aware, or.
I mean, so most deeds will be with reference to the plan, as a subdivision. So if
they'll have
someone's
access to the
doing the
plan.
title work, they should go back and look at the plan, and if it's a note on the plan, someone should see it.
so there's an existing note on the plan, proposed Spring Road is to remain private and will be built to the private road standard. Should there be another note that the existing Granite Hill Farm Road is, whatever the lawyer called it, it shall remain discontinued county way?
Well, I think in addition to that, I think Ann's suggestion of big bold letters in the deed says that
Yeah.
it's a discontinued road and buyer beware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a note that would go on the plan, and the deed would reference the plan, so that would.
Yeah, I mean, we could we could require it be put in the deeds going out, I suppose. That Mr. Baldwin included in his deeds out on those parcels. That access to this parcel is over a discontinued county way or something like that.
Mhm.
But the weird situation that we're gonna wind up with here is we're gonna have a crappy private road, and then Mr. Baldwin's road is gonna have to be built to road standards.
Right.
And he does seem pretty clear that we can't waive those road standards.
No, that'd be a variance.
But that road's gonna be built the same as mine. The only thing I can't do the same as mine is I can't change that one little section where I
Right.
can't get the grade that's required because of the pipeline.
Right.
I can't touch that. It's all in ledge, and
Right.
Right
the
now,
rest of it is gonna be just as good as.
right now, they're talking about maintenance moving forward. Who's gonna maintain it to keep
Right,
it?
but I mean, the issue of building, how we build it, or how I initially prepare that road.
I would say I'm in favor of a note on the plan that indicates the status of Granite Hill Farm Road.
You wanna just include it in the note that exists?
Whatever the best way is to do it. It could. That way the next set of people going through this, chase down that same mean stuff that we've all been doing. Does everyone seem? It's just my idea.
I would say that's what we should do at a minimum. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of putting it in the deed itself, but I defer to the lawyer.
She's not a lawyer when she's here.
I do not provide legal advice to this board.
I defer to the vice chair.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best we can do. It's a weird situation,
Right.
and I don't love it, but at the end of the day, folks, as long as folks understand what they're buying, it's gonna create a problem for the town in 10 years, and that is what it is.
How's it gonna cause a problem?
Because people are gonna buy that, you're gonna get out of there and not maintain it. They're gonna be mad that nobody's maintaining their road, and they're gonna want the town to do it.
Again, you missed the point that there's land on the other side of that road and land beyond that road, and there's more people that own land in there on that road frontage road than just me. So,
No, and I think while you're still involved, it's gonna be fine. I think once you're out of there, folks are buying little 2-acre pieces. They're not gonna have the heavy equipment that you have. They're not, they're expecting to come in and plop their house down and have it taken care of.
by tying that road, that existing road frontage road in with my subdivision, the problem that creates when people do come on that road that's already there, it's how are they gonna tie into my maintenance agreement?
Yeah, they're not, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna maintain the road for everybody. Whoever comes in there is gonna have to,
Yeah.
Anybody, and you can't have a maintenance agreement on something you don't own.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
No,
we totally
and
agree. You can have a
that's
maintenance
exactly
agreement
the
on
problem.
Mineral Springs, but Granite Hill Farm,
Right.
there is, while you're gonna build it and you're gonna try to make it right when you get started,
So, but.
long-term, there's no agreement bond requiring anyone involved with the project, future buyers included, to maintain that road.
I think they're gonna want to, if they wanna get to their houses.
Totally agree.
Well, they're gonna want the town.
I mean, it's gonna be a matter of, I don't know how you require a maintenance agreement on something that
Right.
everybody owns, and it's not like you do it going in, when you're starting it up on a subdivision, it's fine, everybody has to follow the same rules, but on a road that's already there, and
Right.
it's gonna be added people to it that wouldn't be part of the project, I don't know how you,
And that's exactly the problem.
but
But-
how,
It is what it is.
I don't think, I'm gonna, to be
So
clear, I don't think
tying-
we're asking you to put a road maintenance agreement on the discontinued piece of county road.
okay, so you're
You
asking,
need-
okay, so you're just asking me to make the people aware that buying a subdivision,
Right.
Right.
that they're
Right.
gonna be
Buying on a
responsible
discontinued
also.
county road that you
Yeah.
know, that's really it. I mean, that's all you can do is just make it really clear that they know that they're buying on discontinued county road, and their maintenance agreement is for your
Right.
development road
Good.
that you own.
It'll scare off the fussy people. We don't want them there.
Oh, if only we could control it that way. All right, what else we got?
All right. I want to look at did you go through the criteria list to see what was left incomplete?
I think it's just compliance with the ordinance. I think that's all we've got left is number 9.
Complying to the ordinance means meeting all of the road standards on that subdivision road.
Right.
So do we want to make it a condition that he adds that to the plan? And we got to define what that is.
What's that?
Yep.
We haven't gone through all of that stuff.
The note or
All
the?
of that
The
stuff.
note, right.
About Polio, right?
Right.
Did we go through all of that?
All through all of what?
Granite Hill Farm Road.
Oh, yeah, right.
So we're going through the approval criteria, but there's all of that, we haven't gone through the performance standards yet.
Do we have to? Do we have performance standards?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been here,
Subdivision?
but I thought that's what we were talking about. Oh God. Last time, right? Am I wrong?
We do.
We have a lot of performance standards.
That are mostly duplicative of the approval criteria.
There's like a big section on,
Yeah. Performance and design.
yeah. Where am I?
I think that's where you were gonna talk about the gravel and the paving and all that stuff.
So we've been going through these approval criteria, but then in letter F, but then we've got G, which is all the performance and
Mhm.
design standards. So we don't have a checklist for that because it was kind of obtuse to make a checklist for it.
Okay.
At least I didn't make one.
Well, why don't I type one up as we talk?
Some of it is repetitive.
Yep. I'm gonna see if anyone's here to comment on this or if everyone's here for baseball.
Oh,
Members of the public.
Do we have any members of the public here to comment on the Mineral Springs Estates subdivision? No.
All right.
Before we go through this laborious checklist, is there a chance that we can just simply table this until the applicant has a complete submission?
What are we missing?
So the permits.
The stormwater permits, but we had
Um,
talked about
um,
making those just a condition.
Right.
Okay. Notes on the plans.
Yep, so that's another piece that we can require be put on before we sign the Mylar.
Okay.
So if you think there's something big, that piece of information we need in order to go through the performance standards, I would say we should table it. But if it's pieces that we can do as a condition that Calvin can check off before we sign the Mylar and give it to him to file, we can just make those conditions.
And at this point, we're going through the approval at this point, so we already deemed the application complete.
Okay.
Now we're on the next checklist.
All right. So I would suggest that John make the motion so I can type them.
Oh, boy. All right. So these are the ones that,
Well, there's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You don't have to bother with planned unit developments.
Good.
What does that cut out, like a paragraph?
Yeah, one page.
Yeah, but this is what's on this list.
Oh, yeah, it's duplicative.
Mm-hmm. I think we already came to that conclusion.
Love this ordinance.
We don't have to read it all, do we?
No, what I would suggest is that John make all the motions that say,
Alright.
for example, the proposed subdivision will not result in undue water or air pollution because we've had an engineer involved and he's done all the
Okay.
fun things.
All right, pollution. Proposed subdivision, you gonna type fast enough? Will not result, you can watch a video.
Go for it.
Proposed subdivision will not result in undue water or air pollution, and because this project has been engineered and is being permitted under the Maine DEP stormwater rules.
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay.
Okay, air quality. We find that this project will not create any air quality issues due to it being a subdivision of residential nature. How's that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Water quality. We find that this project will not degrade subsurface or surface water supplies as a result of its development, because it is being designed to meet the water quality standards of the Maine DEP.
I'll second. I'll second. All those in favor?
Water supply. Find that this project has sufficient water supply for its planned development based upon the the well results provided in the application, water supply results.
And the hydrant that we have within a reasonable
Oh, yes.
distance, right?
Yes, correct. And the fire chief reviewed the distance to a suitable water supply.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Subdivision will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or reduction in the land's capacity to hold water. The engineer has provided an erosion control plan for construction. Following construction, the site will be stabilized appropriately.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Traffic. Move that this subdivision will not cause unreasonable highway or public road congestion due to the limited size of the development.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Let's see, so. Let's wait, do this one, road construction.
It's like 5 pages.
Right. We do have a section on the drawing, so. Best way to do this. Find that this project meets the road construction requirements. The engineer has provided road sections and ditching and drainage plans consistent with our project, and the applicant will follow all road construction standards required for a subdivision.
So one thing that we had talked about previously was the paving. And so this would need to be paved once you've got, once the fourth dwelling went in.
Right, based on the current ordinance.
And I think there was, what did I just do? Some question or concern about that.
Right, so as Mr. Conway's letter said, it does not appear that we can waive that standard in the current ordinance.
So, but that drawing doesn't show for paving, right? The road. section?
Does not currently. Nope. But it will need to be built to the subdivision standard. So we want to ask them to add that in the section.
Or do we wanna, so either add it as a note or put it as a condition?
I'd just revise the plan to reflect it on the
Why
plan,
don't we put it as a condition that the paving will be added per ordinance?
to the plan, before you sign it, for the Mylar. It really needs to be in the detail.
Yep.
If that's what you want.
Not what I want, it's
Well,
what the ordinance
yeah,
says
right.
we have to do.
Yeah.
And I mentioned before, that I'm gonna, when it's finally approved, that I'd be allowed to change with an ordinance change.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know how you
Yeah,
are
if you
gonna
could-
deal with that, but.
If you could word that, that if the ordinance changed, he'd be allowed to, that the board would consent to waive that requirement in the event that the ordinance changes in the future.
Yeah, I don't think we can waive it, but if it's no longer so what if we required the note to say, must be paved in accordance with ordinance in effect at the time
Most current.
that fourth house is built, or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Perfect.
So that way, if the ordinance changes before that fourth house gets built, you don't have to pave.
Yeah.
So, let me write that down.
That's a note going where?
The plan.
Okay.
That's going on the plan? Or as a,
Okay. So I'm just gonna.
So what did we say, prior to or after the fourth house? Prior to the,
prior to the fourth.
Prior to the fourth.
After
So
the third
before
house,
you'd
right?
issue the permit for the fourth
Prior to the,
house,
Right.
it would have to be paved.
okay, so we're destroying this plan again, so do we want to go back to lot 5 and change the way that
Yeah,
looked? You mentioned it. Is that-
Betcha.
Okay, is
Yeah,
that,
we'll get all those.
even though it says the whole thing can't be disturbed, you want to get that setback out of there and this 50-foot setback out?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Follow that pen, Calvin. One down there, no which is.
Okay, so I think the motion was to find that this was met with that additional condition. Okay, I will second that.
All those in favor?
The next one is road maintenance.
Are they gonna give me?
We will
Yeah,
find
they're
that
gonna give me the
this
language.
project, that the applicant has met the performance requirement for road maintenance by submitting a draft of the road
That's submitted.
maintenance agreement. That will become part of the
They make it
deeds
up.
for the
They'll tell you what it is.
subdivision.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Okay.
Round
Does
one.
it say all of these things? I don't think I have a copy of it anymore, frankly. Now that I've just voted on that. If a private way is subject to the maintenance agreement is an extension of an existing private way which served lots created prior to March 6, 2004, a statement that the applicant for private way approval has contacted the owners of such lots has offered them the opportunity to make their property subject to the maintenance agreement, and that they have either accepted or declined that offer. And that the declarant has submitted to the planning department, a notarized affidavit confirming the declarant's compliance with this paragraph.
But we're not putting a maintenance agreement on the section of road that has other.
Right, but I think what it's saying is, if you have this situation, Barry has to approach the owners of the road, which would be the abutters to the center line, I think, although I don't think Jack said that.
That road wasn't discontinued that way.
And see if they want to own it, or if they want to be part of the maintenance agreement. I still don't know who owns that road.
Nobody?
All the abutters. It's really that simple.
Each abutter owns to the center line.
Granite Hill?
Yeah. It's the way that discontinuance works. It's each abutter goes to the center line, and you're crossing over each other's land, but it's subject to, in this case, it's called private way, which back then meant public way. I know it's backwards, but that's the way that worked.
And there's nobody on that road that owns land there wants to be any part of any agreement to.
Well, I have this one.
We have different ones. I don't know what that is.
I think this one might be an updated one, but well, maybe not. Do I have an old one?
I don't know.
Created prior to March 6,
Is
2004.
B3 applicable to this regarding the deed? Or the maintenance agreement? to
It
make
should
sure
be
that
written
that should be-
into,
No, I'm not sure if I'm.
so 8B, all of those terms should be in the maintenance agreement, and I don't think they are unless we have the wrong version of it.
This is the one.
Do you have a copy of your maintenance agreement with you?
Your road maintenance agreement, you have a copy?
On something different. Asked for it to be updated, but I'm not sure which one's the updated one.
That's maybe. Maybe.
No, I went through this stuff.
This one might actually have all of the stuff it needs.
Maybe have one of those. I don't know if that's in this.
Alvin, do you have a record copy of what we're doing?
I gave it to the attorney and haven't picked it up yet.
I tried to weed out the stuff that was the most. I tried to get all the most recent stuff together. Does this look like it?
Is that from my attorney? Is that the one he drew up?
We have two versions from your
No,
attorney.
It's the one that looks a little crazy. It's got everything on it. And
You want to look at them?
it's not going to be the first version. It's
This
the
one?
crazy one.
Okay.
Well, the more complicated one.
Yeah.
The warranty deed on it.
Want me to make copies of that? or-
They had them in your package, but those are, we've been here 8 months, so it's not telling where this stuff went.
A lot of puts and takes along the way.
Oh, look, I took the entire box over to the lawyer's office and I gotta go back and get it. I can make a copy of that, I guess.
Thanks, Calvin.
Well, let me look at that for a second, Calvin, to make sure that's.
Or if they have to come back.
You wanna
see that
move
it's
on and
in-
we'll go back to that?
Yeah, that's the one.
You wanna just move on and we can come back to this?
Yep.
Well, we already approved it,
Yeah.
so we're back
On
down
improvement.
that.
I move to reconsider.
All right, move to reconsider the road maintenance agreement.
Actually, let's just wait and see if we
We
can.
may have it when my,
Let's move on. Move to reconsider at the end. Groundwater, you're up.
There's that one. I got it.
No, that's the deed.
No, it's
It's
the
on-
next
it's on
Oh,
page.
the-
is it attached to it?
Yep. Right there.
Gotcha.
All right, groundwater. Determine the standard has been met, the board must find that, all right, so find that this project meets the requirements for groundwater protection. Each new development, each new lot will include a subsurface water permit for state regulation.
Second. All those in favor?
Solid waste. Move that we find that this project, that the town's contract for solid waste has the capacity, sufficient capacity for disposal of waste generated by the proposed use.
I'll second. All those in favor?
I'm not.
No?
Sorry. Are we sure that the town's contracted solid waste management company will cross the road to get to the
No,
private?
they'll have to
side?
bring it out to the end of their street. That's their challenge. They're only gonna go down the approved town streets, which is pretty consistent with what happens elsewhere in town.
They will go into a subdivision to collect trash as long as everyone in the subdivision, they have to fill out a form that says they all are willing to let that truck come in on that private road to collect trash. There's some kind of, it's something to that effect. But yeah, they will go in and collect it if everybody wants them to. But there's some kind of paperwork you have to fill out to get them to do it.
Do you have that paperwork?
No, I don't. I'm just explaining to you what they do allow. I don't have the contract for solid waste.
I have mine.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Brian, John. Things fair?
Yeah.
All right.
So we have a vote, that was 3-1, right? Okay.
All right, we'll let that stand. Or you wanna go back to road maintenance agreement?
Yep.
Which one did you just do?
Solid waste.
Solid waste.
Number 10.
Okay.
So, each agreement provides for the obligation of each original are located with regard to the maintenance, repair, and snow plowing. Repair and submit for approval, maintenance agreement which will specify the rights and responsibilities of the owners. So I think it does that, right? And then it has these very specific things. So a detailed statement of how the ownership interest in the private way will be structured. We had a note on the plan, right? Barry's retaining this road?
No, there's a maintenance agreement.
Yeah, but who owns the road? Who's gonna own the road?
It's in the-
We had this conversation before and I don't remember.
Equal shares, everybody who owns a lot owns a road, part of the road.
Proposed spring road is remain private.
Is that written?
What's the deed say?
There's a section.
We had talked about putting in the deed.
Reserves the right to grant easements. The above described parcel of land is subject to a declaration of covenants for road maintenance. I still don't know who owns this road.
Well, oftentimes what's happened in the past is that the subdivider deeds the lots off, and then years later, when they go to do something, they find out that the subdivider still owns it.
Right.
And then we have to chase heirs and things so it should say it should say with a 1/8 interest or how many of the lots there are in the roads. Each lot owner should be getting a proportionate share of the road, so that each of them owns 1/5 or 1/8 or whatever the lots here.
Simple interest in the road.
Seven.
So it should say with a 1/7 interest in the roadway called such and such shown as depicted on the plan.
Well, the pins are all outside of the roadway. It's shown on the plan.
Right, but they would have what Calvin's saying is they'd have a 1/7 interest in the whole road.
Is that number 7 here, cost sharing?
No, that's just cost sharing. We're talking actual ownership,
The deed says that they have easements.
which is different than
Right.
ownership, though. So who owns the fee?
Fee interest in the road.
So
This,
prorated cost share will be based upon the percentage of roadway extending from the start of the private road to the intersection of each driveway where a residence exists, or to the midpoint of a property frontage that is adjacent to the roadway where the residence does not exist. It's not the same?
no. The fee interest, and there's another good reason to make sure the fee interest is transferred, is that people can come back to Mr. Baldwin later and say, you know, I was injured on your road, you own it, and we want compensation. So it's a good idea to convey that interest to the landowners.
So, Barry, I guess you have to tell it, you can do a couple things. You can create like a road association, which is you have to create it. It's an entity, like an LLC or a nonprofit. It's its own corporate form, and you can deed it to them. You can deed it to the owners, 1/7 interest. You can deed it to them, to the center line, abutting their property, and everybody keeps their easement.
Or I can maintain the
Or you
simple
can maintain
interest,
ownership. Yep. And decide what to do later.
which is what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So then let's put a condition that needs to go in the maintenance agreement.
Where's my list of conditions?
A statement that in the event any of the lots shown on the plan are divided, or in the event any remaining land of the declarant is subsequently divided into lots which are served by the private way, then such resulting lot or lots shall become subject to the maintenance agreement. So that'll need to be a condition as well. Basically, none of these are in the maintenance agreement.
Okay. So,
So all of these under B.
Okay, so first I'm gonna make a motion to reconsider our findings on 8.
second.
All those in favor?
And then I'm gonna make a motion to impose the following conditions. The road maintenance agreement must describe ownership of the road. It must include the statement required by, what the hell's that section again?
G.
Yeah, but what? G? 8.
No?
Article.
Article 7,
Okay.
subdivision, right?
Yep. Is that what subdivision is? 7? So 7G8.
B2.
7G8. Oops. B. Oops. 2. Three. 4. 5. Okay. All right, what do you want to do about 6?
Harry, you told me
Is it
that-
considered a private way? A discontinued county road is,
It's actually a public way.
I don't know if,
It's a-
I don't
it's a
know if I
public
would
way.
call that a private way.
Barry, the folks at the beginning of the road, the 3 residential, they have their own road association currently, or they
No.
just do it on their own?
No.
Okay.
Nobody is.
They live right by the main roads.
Well, they don't, I mean, Joey, the Bernards live
Oh,
in
there's
there.
one way up in it, yeah.
900 feet.
Yeah. But that is a public, yeah, that's a public way.
Or is it a private way with public access?
I think it's a
Well,
private
yeah,
way with
actually-
a public
Actually, yeah,
easement.
that's what it is.
So
Private
where's
way
the
with-
easement? Who has the easement?
The public,
A public easement.
everyone.
The land reverted back to private property with a public easement over it, so.
But there is an easement in place that we
Yep.
have a written
Yep.
document.
It's in the deed, it's in the deed way back.
So what 6 says is that Barry has to go to those people and ask them if they want to be part of the road maintenance agreement for the subdivision?
Yep.
And then provide,
Provide an affidavit saying he asked to Calvin. I love this ordinance. Okay, so I'm gonna,
That's a lot of, if I may, that's a lot of extra work to come up with nothing, because nobody's interested in joining in.
You could just
yeah,
tell
then
Calvin that under affidavit, yeah.
put in an affidavit and sign it and notarize it and give it to Calvin.
That I've asked.
That you've made contact and that they've all refused to.
For the people living there, or people that own land there, or
It should be every abutting landowner is what it should be.
or anybody who has frontage on that road, basically.
Up to.
Up to mineral, up to your road.
It won't be hard to do.
So is that something I can work with you on, or does it have to be?
They'll make it a condition.
Yep, so,
You just work
Condition,
with it.
okay.
and then, okay, so here are my proposed conditions. Okay. So 1, the road maintenance agreement must describe the ownership of the road. The road maintenance agreement must include the statements required by basically B2 through B5, as well as B7. And Barry has to provide the code officer with an affidavit saying that he's asked abutting landowners up to where his road starts, whether they want to join his road maintenance association thing. So that's my motion.
Second.
all those in favor?
Okay. Moving on.
You're not in favor?
I am in favor. It is my motion. I like my own motions. All right, 11. Go.
All right, this board finds that this project will not impact aesthetic, natural, and cultural values. The standard has been met because it has preserved landscape with the size of their lots. We have confirmed with the appropriate authorities that there are not protected natural resources or cultural historic sites on the property.
Second that. All those in favor?
Financial and technical capacity. Let's see, we find that the developer has appropriate financial and technical capacity. He has provided cost estimates and statements of available funds. He has retained a licensed engineer to design the project, who will be providing oversight during construction and until stabilization.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Noise. Find that
I
this.
don't know if we've talked about noise before, have we? Have we talked about noise before?
I don't think so.
No, noise is a new one. Do you have any concerns?
It's just a residential use.
Right. The lawnmowers on Saturday afternoon.
You never know.
And somebody sets up a firing range.
I mean, the
Sure, yeah.
construction limits are 9 to 6, can't
Yeah.
do it between 9 PM and 6:30, but that's in the ordinance, I don't.
Right, but he's also so far from a boundary that he could be up there with a skidder and not hit 55 at his boundary. So, we find that this project will not create a noise, meets the standards for noise due to its residential nature.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Odor. That's a new one. I don't think we have any concerns, all right? Find that this project meets the odor requirements because it is a residential development that will not produce noxious odors.
Second.
All those in favor?
Glare and vibration. Find that this subdivision will not create glare or vibration outside of the standard of this ordinance,
Because it's residential.
because it's residential.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
We should not have the subdivision ordinance that includes commercial subdivision.
Yeah.
Silly, but, okay, schools. So to meet this standard, we have to find that this project won't increase the school population by more than 10%, which I'm pretty sure the 7 houses won't do that. Everyone agree?
Yes.
All right, so, let's find that this project meets the requirements for schools. It will not increase the capacity of Durham Elementary School by more than 10%, because there are 7 lots.
Second.
All those in favor?
This is not timber harvest, so we'll find that land subject to liquid harvesting is not applicable.
Second.
All those in favor?
Designated, I think 18's not applicable either,
That's
because we
fine.
don't have any dedicated public use.
Okay, so it's find that 18 is not applicable because there is no land designated for public use inside this project.
Second.
All those in favor?
19. Planning board may require proposed subdivision to conserve features of trees, streams. So we find that this project has been designed in a way that it has conserved trees, streams, and the topography of the area.
Second.
All those in favor?
Street trees and esplanades and open spaces. Find that this project does not require additional street trees, esplanades, or open spaces due to its generally forested nature.
Second.
All those in favor?
We have those beautiful drainage, natural areas that have to be maintained now too. Floodplain, we reviewed this already, right?
Yeah, they don't have any.
Right. So we find that this project meets the floodplain management requirements. There are no floodplain areas in the proposed building envelopes for this project.
Second.
All those in favor?
This is not a planned unit development.
Right.
That's the end. Oh no. Is that the end?
So, can we do this? I think this one is mostly road being accepted for town.
Yeah, what do we do with these general provisions?
There is a requirement that they submit the monuments.
What about, you going to G, general provisions?
That's
Where you at?
what we just went through.
H.
H.
I mean, H, yeah.
H.
You're going to H.
That's what I was just looking at. So
All right.
most of this is about town road requirements. But Yeah, I mean, this is all for a subdivision, which this will become a town road.
Except for 2.
All applicable conditions of approval have been met, or how prior to the lot.
Yeah, prior
Yeah.
to say the monumentation,
Yeah.
subdivider shall be required to maintain all improvements, provide for snow removal until control is placed with lot owners association. And then it may not sell a dwelling unit within the subdivision, may not sell a lot or dwelling unit within the subdivision until the infrastructure serving the dwelling has been constructed as approved. Okay. So we can create those conditions.
I was just gonna say exactly that, all right.
So, we wanna go through conditions?
Okay.
So we have the buffers on the Mylar, right? Or we need to amend the plan? I was not paying attention on.
Removing the setbacks.
Buffers.
That's in one of the buffer areas, I guess.
So one of the conditions,
Removing the setback lines in that buffer area on lot 5.
Can you just remind me that lot 1 doesn't apply to this
Lot 1 has already been sold.
without any infrastructure?
Within 5 years, so it has to be included.
Right.
But
But what do you mean without infrastructure?
Well, I mean, this is what it's talking about. You can't sell any lots until you have infrastructure in place.
Right.
There's no infrastructure there, but apparently lot 1's already been sold.
Because it's road, has road frontage on Granite Hill Farm Road.
Yeah.
And it
And the
also,
lawyers already determined that that was the way, appropriate way to deal with that.
but either way, it wasn't a subdivision.
Yeah.
Because he'd only sold, a subdivision is once you create 3 lots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a,
Second lot,
right.
right, and that's why we're here, because I sold the first one, and that was within 5 years, that's why it's on the plan.
Okay. So, where do we want it? So these are the ones that John proposed, right? You did those?
Those were, we all proposed along the way.
Oh, okay. You just wrote them down.
Actually, I don't even think I wrote them down, I just had the copy of them today.
I had a copy
think
of that
Jill
too.
produced
I
that.
don't know who created that.
I think Jill produced that for us.
Really?
Or Mindy.
I think it was you, John.
I really think it was you.
Did I? Maybe. This thing's gone on for
It must have been Juliet.
I actually recall that it was you.
I think it was.
Maybe. Guilty, I guess.
All right. So why don't we
I don't
talk?
remember typing all of this. but-
Why don't we talk through what I've got written down? So we have 2 on Mindy's notes.
Yeah, I had written showing forested buffers on the Mylar.
Does that still apply?
I'm not remembering.
So Brian, what was your concern about the buffer on the current
Showing the
plan?
buildable lot on lot 5.
Correct.
It overlaps with the stormwater buffer.
So help me write a sentence.
I think it would say, remove the setback lines in
Within the buffer.
within the buffer zone. on
Okay,
lot
so
5.
remove setback lines within buffer zone on lot 5.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. So does that address the forested buffer zone Mylar?
I cannot remember what that is.
Okay.
What was it?
I think you had wanted to make sure that those buffers showed up on the Mylar, so the recording plan showed a record of where the buffers were, which is a state standard anyway. I think that's where that was
Yeah, I
going.
mean, without looking back at the minutes, I'm probably gonna have a hard time remembering
Okay.
why I wrote that down.
We're gonna go with that. So number 2 is submit the stormwater permit to the CEO before beginning construction.
That's a condition? These aren't all conditions, right?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about now, our conditions.
Okay,
He's not gonna want you to start construction until you have that permit anyway.
right.
Right.
Okay.
As soon as you get it, deliver it to Calvin, and you're off rocking and rolling.
All right, so remove setback lines within the buffer zone on lot 5. Submit a stormwater permit to the code officer before beginning construction.
Okay, so that took care of this one anyway.
Okay.
That's what that one essentially said.
Okay.
So then, related to the road construction, was road dimensions, geometry, and materials should conform with the requirements of the ordinance.
Do you guys have these?
Mhm.
So you're looking at, okay.
Yep.
Do we need all of those?
So
Do we
then,
need these two?
I think it would be good to make those things clear that they apply.
Okay.
Just because the ordinance is a little bit fuzzy about whether you have to submit your materials for the private road if you're not paving it, being accepted as a town road.
Will you read those for
Okay,
Barry?
so the applicant will submit gradation reports for the aggregate base and sub-base materials to the project to the code enforcement officer for approval. The applicant will submit results of compaction testing to the code enforcement officer, completion of the sub-base and base installs. Minimum of one test for each base and sub-base for every 300 lineal feet. Sample locations will be noted on the test results. Should the test fail, the applicant shall demonstrate 2 other randomly selected sites within 300 feet of the failed test do pass. 2 out of 3 passing tests will be deemed acceptable.
Are we doing this to the code officer or to the road commissioner?
One and the same at the moment?
Right.
At the time, it was the same,
I would
but
say it'd be code officer.
yeah, it really should probably be the code officer.
Yeah, so you have one.
Because you're not really responsible for the
Right.
private way. If he needs to use your expertise, I would
Right.
hope that he
Yep, reach out.
consult with you.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it.
That way, there's no overlap of everybody assuming someone else that did it.
Okay.
So the next one was related to road maintenance, but I think some of that is now been covered.
Okay, so what we have for road maintenance was, the agreement must describe the ownership of the road. They must include the statements in the ordinance.
So the other piece I had noted was
And then provide the CEO
hoping
with the
it
affidavit.
could cover Mineral Springs, right? That's, no, Granite Hill, I'm sorry, Granite Hill. But as pointed out in the letter, that's not something we can request, so I will not make a motion to have that be a requirement.
Okay. So right now our conditions are just, has to describe the ownership of the road, has to have those 5 or 6 statements that we talked about 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
And he has to provide the code officer with an affidavit stating he's asked the other abutters whether they want to join. The abutters on, what's it called? Mineral Spring Road?
Granite Hill.
Granite Hill,
Thank you.
Granite Hill Farm Road.
Granite Hill Farm Road to Mineral Springs Road to join road maintenance. Okay.
2 of those plans there. I had one tonight. Just in case. I had
So
some.
many times, Miss Calvin.
I had one a little while ago.
All right.
Number 4
Next.
No, that's the,
on that list.
That's the next applicant.
I'll just, we can share it.
Alright, so the next one was, the applicant shall retain a professional engineer with knowledge and expertise to ensure compliance with erosion control, road construction, stormwater requirements of the ordinance and the main DEP during construction of the roadway and stormwater systems, and provide a certification of compliance to the E CEO. It's your handwriting, so.
Provide maps? What was I talking about? Provide permit, we talked about. So the next one is an amend plan to clearly show that Granite Hill Farm Road is a discontinued county way. And then, build Granite Hill Farm Road to, I don't wanna say, is private road standards the wording of the, I don't think that's a thing.
You know, you can't meet all of the private road standards, so
To a safe.
I would say make improvements to Granite Hill Farm Road to meet the width requirement of the ordinance
To be deemed safe by codes or the fire chief, maybe.
and provide drainage to prevent further erosion. I think that's the biggest issues there, is make sure we get width and make sure that it doesn't wash down that steep hill.
Okay, so build Granite Hill Farm Road to width requirements in what
Private
section?
road standard.
I would say all requirements except for the one that he can't meet is that 8% slope for that section.
But do private roads have to be paid? Do we have something called a private road standard?
Yeah, on page,
Same standard we just went through, really.
well, you could say,
Well, that's in subdivision.
minus the pavement.
Yeah, we don't wanna make it pave it.
Yeah, well, our regular,
We have, on page 89, our little road cross-section, it says for a private road. So,
I mean, we've got the other, I mean, it's in subdivision or it's in conditional
well,
use.
you've got a note on here already that says that proposed spring roads remain private and will be built to private road standards on the plan. Just leave that.
I'd wanna make that as a condition either way. But I just wanna make sure it's clear what private road standard is. I don't wanna put private road standard and then Barry has to pave it.
Private road minus pavement, minus any paving requirements.
well, this cross-section of a private road does not show paving, so, oh wait.
There's a
This Kenny
section
does.
in there
Yeah.
that does.
Yeah.
That does. It does. So I would say minus paving and grade requirements or slope requirements.
So you could say road construction requirements per Article 7. So,
Figure 3. Minus paving and grade requirements.
Article 7.
I think it's in it.
Article 7, G7.
Okay. Except for paving requirement and
Grade.
grade. Okay, so build Granite Hill Farm Road to private road standard in Article 7G7, except for paving requirements and grade. Yeah?
I would say paving and grade requirements.
And grade requirements, okay. So, amend plan to include note that, Mineral Springs Road,
Granite Hill Farm.
nope,
Oh, sorry.
must be paved in accordance
Same
with
article.
the ordinance in effect at the time that residents, how's that referred to?
Dwelling units.
The time that each dwelling unit is constructed.
Constructed or permitted?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this is gonna change to. If we say it changes to you have to pave after 6, then he has to pave after 6, right?
Okay.
Say, shall adhere to most current.
Yeah. You wanna read it again?
Amend plan to include a note that Mineral Springs Road must be paved in accordance with the ordinance in effect at the time that each dwelling unit is probably
Each
permitted.
additional unit.
Each additional dwelling unit
Yeah.
is permitted,
Sounds good.
constructed,
Permanent.
Doesn't necessarily say, yeah, permanent. That's it.
permitted. Okay.
Isn't exactly clear.
Okay, and then I have, oh, no, that's remains. Okay, I'm out of conditions. Anyone else? No? Okay, then I'm going to make a motion to approve the subdivision with the conditions that we just discussed.
You wanna read them all again?
I can. So,
Just the.
all right. Are you just being a smartass?
Maybe.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the subdivision with the following conditions. Setback lines within buffer zone on lot 5 have to be removed. Stormwater permit has to be submitted to the code officer before construction. The road dimensions, geometry, materials have to conform to the ordinance, including submitting gradation reports for aggregate base and sub-base materials, and submitting compaction testing as laid out, as we discussed previously. The road maintenance agreement has to be amended as previously discussed and attached to the deeds. The applicant has to retain a professional engineer who must, at the end of the project, submit a certification of compliance to the code officer. The plan has to be amended to clearly show that Granite Hill Farm Road is a discontinued county way. Granite Hill Farm Road must be built to a private road standard in Article 7G7, except for paving and grade requirements. Before, when? When does that need to be done?
Transfer the first permit.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Or transfer the first lot.
Before any additional lots are transferred. And then the plan has to be amended to include a note that Mineral Springs Road must be paved in accordance with the ordinance in effect at the time that each additional dwelling unit is permitted. That's my motion.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Barry, you got you across the finish line.
Finally.
Excuse me?
We got you across the finish line. Took a bit.
Almost.
Almost. You won't have to come here on another Wednesday night.
I don't have to what?
You won't have to come back here on another Wednesday night. You can catch Calvin during the day.
Okay.
Right.
So when
Well, I
you,
will too. I'd rather be here next month with the Mylar and the changes on it to get it signed.
right,
But you don't actually, they just sign it, you know.
Usually Jill just puts it in front of
Okay,
our
so
noses.
as long as everything is met,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sign it. Okay.
Thank you. Just
All right, well, hang on, give it to me. This it's the same one.
yeah, all right.
I did grab yours.
Gotcha, I had one on the seat over here and then it disappeared.
Yeah. So I got one, you got one, we're good.
Okay, good.
Probably should have required a performance bond. Oh, well.
It's not referenced anywhere.
I know.
I agree. I thought
That's
we did
exactly what happened.
I thought we did a cash performance guarantee, didn't you have to show how much money in the bank?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that wasn't a performance
Some-
guarantee, that was
right,
just
some
financial.
Yeah,
But what happens is a lot of times developers will build half the road and then they don't have the money to finish it and then they vanish and then it's a big mess.
Roth report, we had it.
Bad ones?
We got open seats.
Is this one mine or yours?
I have no idea.
Looking for alternates.
Oh, here.
You too could be
that
part of this
mine?
file.
I buried it underneath mine.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Come on! We didn't make it look like fun?
Who wants to be an alternate?
So Calvin, you have a complete package of all of that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to be checked closely to make sure we got all the most recents.
Okay.
Oh, I'm up doing something. Oh, it's my agenda now.
Baseball.
Baseball.
All right, new business, conditional use permit application for Durham Youth Baseball. Come on up. Thank you for your patience.
I have a couple additional pages to the package. I got 2 additional mail receipts since I
Okay.
submitted that. And then we also found there was an error in the tax maps. So lots 25A and B do not actually abut the town property, but lot 25 does. Included in that is a written statement from the property owners of lot 25 that I talked to them and notified them of the meeting today, and they're actually sitting here, so.
Okay.
So why don't you give us a quick overview of what your application is looking to do?
What we want to do, we have a lease with the town for the 10 acres on Swamp Road. We're looking to build 4 fields, 2 all for youth baseball for ages 4 to 12. 2 will be for ages 7 to 12. 2 will be for ages 4 to 6 or use as infield practice. We're going to build a parking lot that'll meet that. We're looking at putting in a 24 by 24 building that will serve as a storage shed, storage facilities, and then a snack shack for pre-packaged foods. Don't anticipate cooking anything on site. No lighting. For septic system, we're just planning on using porta potties because the groundwater table is fairly high in that area. And there's no good design standards for high peak but short duration usage. So I guess that, in a nutshell, that's it. It's a pretty critical need for the town of Durham. Currently, there's only 2 softball fields. No, there's 1 baseball field for middle school, but that's not sized appropriately for the other ages, so there's no actual baseball fields. And the school softball field is dedicated to middle school softball. We get it after them. The town field back here is dedicated to boosters usage. The booster softball program has been growing leaps and bounds over the past few years to the point where they were actually using the middle school fields, and because they are a booster program through the RSU program, they trump Durham Youth Baseball, so we were struggling to find adequate field space this year. I don't think any of the programs, boosters or, we worked fairly closely with the boosters this year. I don't know if anyone was able to maintain more than a practice a week, which when you only have 2 months to play, that's really not adequate in the least. We've relied heavily on Lisbon over the past several years, and we're trying to get the facilities we need for our players.
So, can I ask a question about your lease?
Yes.
It says that the league has to prepare a development plan for the site, which is submitted to the selectmen for approval.
Yeah, we did that in January.
Okay, and that's been signed off on?
I don't know if it was in the minutes that we went and they were good with it.
Okay,
They didn't provide any type of form for it, but
okay.
yeah, that was on, we presented that at the January 26th meeting, the select board.
Okay.
So I drove by the site. If I get in the right place, it's recently been cut.
It was cut probably, the major pines were cut probably about 8 years ago. And then last year, we kind of fell into a deal where sappy paper came in and cleared off all the small scrubby stuff that didn't have any monetary value. And they hired a forester to come in and take care of that for us for nothing.
So that was done under the lease, as the leaser you cleared? And so the idea was to get the tree cutting done as the start of the project?
No, it was just the timing for that. We know we can't do anything until we get the permits, so it was a matter of trying to get that kind of cut down before it got so big that we couldn't get much of it dealt with.
So is the league it's incorporated with the state?
We do have a state, we are a state corporation, we are a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS as well.
Tell me about the money.
So from the initial clearing, we do have $13,000 currently. We are anticipating the project cost about $400,000. We do not have that right now, but part of that, we are working, currently talking with the Army Corps of Engineers that often do this type of project as part of their core training. So we're talking to them about that, but the thing we've been running into is to get really a good financial backing. We kind of need to show that we have our permits in place, that we're serious about getting the project going. So that's what we're trying to do, is line that up. We've got a couple people that have volunteered to basically coordinate grant programs. I know Major League Baseball offers a Futures program. So there's a lot of these grants that they're going to be starting to chase corporate sponsorships. But we really wanted to get kind of the approvals that, yes, we have a plan in place before we really start asking people for the money that we couldn't, we wanted to make sure that what we wanted to do, we could do before we took their money.
So, because in part you'll need some stormwater and some other DEP permits,
Correct.
which will involve some mitigation measures and things like that. And one of the concerns that I had with the project is you've got a little bit of a chicken and egg problem. Part of what we need to do is make sure that you have the funds there to do all that. And part of what you need to do is you need to get the approval to get the funds. So I'm assuming you don't have, $400,000 fairy godmother sitting out there. So are you planning to phase this, or what's the plan as finances come in or don't?
What I would, we could potentially phase it, once we talk with the Army Corps and really getting the permits in place. Really, ideally, we need at least one field as soon as possible. So if we can get enough money to do the one field, then we would, amend it to do a phase one with the other phases coming in place. That would include the parking lot and then whatever the one primary field is, but we would not really start working on the rest of the property unless we had complete funding.
Okay. So your plan is maybe to do one field, and then the rest of the project will basically wait until you're fully funded?
Correct.
Okay. And what are the mitigation measures you need to put in place?
Currently, we actually met with DEP 2 weeks ago. Initially, we were under the impression that we were a permit by rule for stormwater. They said at that time that they didn't think we would be. So we are working, talking to an engineer over at Sebago Technics that is going to be working with us to develop some treatments there. We were talking about some of these jellyfish type things that can go in the gravel parking lot. Apparently those are probably not the best alternative for us, but we do know that we've got area for some vegetated swale treatment. We do know that, we're currently showing on the plans the 3 little areas of stump dumps. According to DEP, we're only allowed to have one area. So we do have some of those areas available that we can also put in some additional vegetated swales or whatnot. We can't, ponds are not going to be a suitable situation here. just because the bottom of the pond needs to be 3 feet above high water, the high elevation of the groundwater, which is all of like 16 inches below ground, so. Really, the vegetated swales with under drain is probably where we're headed. And
What do you think, what are the cost estimates on just those mitigation measures?
Well, the initial construction estimate we got was $325. So we figured rounding up to 4 would more than cover any of those additional requirements.
So you're allowing about 75?
So that's just construction costs, the 400?
Correct.
Ian, I could step back just a minute if you want to take these. I'd just like to go over this, the submission. You have that in your packet. Just want to make sure. I told you it was complete, but I just want to make sure we go over these waivers that they're asking for.
Right.
And make sure you guys are all on board with that.
Right, I just want to make sure I understand the project before we start going through
So I
stuff.
just,
I don't know if this is-
so there were 3 waivers, so it wasn't necessarily complete, but they're asking for 3 waivers, so.
Right.
So we can go through that when we get to the. So, I mean, judging by this, there's no cut at this site. This is all fill.
There will be some cut involved for putting in the gravel parking lot, but generally speaking, yeah, it'll be fill. Minimal cut.
How many yards? Is that? I thought I saw the estimate here. That is-
What do we have for, was it like 3,000 yards of borrow?
It's in one of the notes, the number offhand, I don't know.
2,000 yards gravel. Doesn't seem much common.
Uh, 11,000 cubic yards of native material to be mined and stored on site until needed. Which was primarily coming out of the stump dumps for if we needed that. But you're correct, I don't see a common borrow number on that, unless that was in the estimate.
It said $60,000. So the plan here, it's not stamped, it's got Sebago's letterhead, but
Correct.
I don't see an engineer's name or anything like that. Are they engineering this for you? or
I'm engineering it.
You're
I'm
engineering
a
it?
licensed engineer with the state of Maine.
Okay.
So you're bearing the soft costs for all the engineering needed?
I've been doing it all on my own time, which is why it's taken this long to get this far. And Bruce has been doing all the surveying for it.
So you said there was a 16-inch water table. That's a seasonal water table? Okay, so,
Yeah, because we had gotten a couple test bits done for looking at doing some type of septic each field and decided that was not such a good option.
Bonnie Cobb had done 4 for us. 3 were at 12 to 15, 1 was at 28.
okay.
The modeling was all examined at about those depths.
How's that gonna interfere with your stump dump, your burying?
Well, we're hoping to, again, the DEP has told us we can only have 1.
So can you bury them underwater? No. I mean, I just wonder, it says here, you're gonna dig them 5 feet deep, and I think
Or
it's
until water table.
till seasonal water table or until you hit water?
We don't want that.
You don't want.
The DEP doesn't want that.
Yeah, what DEP has asked us to look into is actually
See if you can grind them up.
finding someone to grind them so we can use them as an erosion control mix right on site.
I know Shaw Brothers does that. I don't know who else around here. I'm not sure if Crooker does that or not.
We got a couple, DEP gave us a couple
Right, they
names
have
too
given
that,
us a list. They don't want to see the stump dump, but it's about cost savings.
Especially with the high water table.
checklist.
Application checklist and then take vote on it.
What did you need?
I'll find the application itself. Got it.
Can I ask you a quick question? This is what Jill gave me to print out. These notes in italics, this is from your document. Okay. I wasn't positive, and as I was getting her stuff,
Can we use, I mean, it looks like,
Do you want to use what they sent you?
why can't we just use this? In the
What's in the
application?
packet?
I'll probably use that.
All right.
Oh, although that's just the application. Oh, it's both. Okay.
I think Jill just liked that you had yours on the table. And I agree with that.
Okay. I will take notes of someone.
Oh, do you want to write? Do you want to be the official record keeper?
I will if you'd like.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Sure.
Okay. The planning board may waive any of the submission requirements upon a written request of the applicant. Waiver of any submission requirement may be granted only if that information is not required to determine compliance with the approval criteria. In all instances, the burden of proof shall be upon the applicant to present adequate information. Every applicant applying for conditional use approval shall submit to the attention of the planning board or the town office 9 copies of a complete application, including a plan, which shall be prepared in accordance with this article. When the owner of the property whose authorized agent makes formal application, his application shall contain the following. Received by the CEO. Yes, we got 9 copies. A fully executed and signed copy of the application for conditional use approval.
I think we've got that.
Site plan with date scale and North Point drawn at a scale sufficient to allow review of the items listed under the approval criteria, but not more than 100 feet to the inch scale for that portion of the total tract of land being proposed for development. When practical, a standard size sheet, 24 by 36, shall be used for all plans. The plan application show and contain the following.
So I think we've got the site plan, right? And we'll go through the. This is-
Owner's name and address, the name of the engineers or surveyors or both preparing the plan.
That's why I asked the earlier question.
Mm.
That information on the plan. Lost my small copy.
Maybe. I'll share mine. Or the one I stole.
All right, so we need to get the engineers and the surveyors information on here.
Okay.
Am I missing this? Does it state the property owner's name on there?
It should also have the town on it.
All right.
Okay, so the plan will need to have the town's name, reflect the town as the owner.
Mm-hmm.
It'll need to have the engineer's info and the surveyor's info.
Correct.
Okay.
Buddy property owners.
You wanna waive it and make it a condition
We
of
could.
approval? Waive it as an application?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Speaking about the site plan, you're talking about lot 26, correct?
25, I believe.
No, we're 25.
Right,
So your plan is lot 26?
yes,
So you're not going to involve 25A and 25B, correct?
correct.
Now, why did you clear it?
Clear what?
Lot 25 and 25A and 25B is all cleared.
25A and 25B is on the other side of you, correct?
It's between me and your proposal.
It's not really the time for public comment.
We're 25, it's 25A and 25B next to us, and it's 26.
Can we go through the rest
I've got a
of,
picture.
can we go through the rest of the application checklist before we do that? Okay.
Okay, so they're gonna have to show on the plan. Info and engineers info. Okay. So I will move to waive that application requirement, and we will put those on as conditions at the end.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Okay. All right, names and addresses of budding property owners.
The applicant shall also include a copy of the abutters signed return receipt notices or shall submit a signed acknowledgement of the receipt by the butters.
I think we have all that, right?
Complete sketch map showing general location of the site within the town as required in one above.
We've got that.
Boundaries of all contiguous property under the control of the owner or applicant regardless of whether all or part is being developed at this time.
Is that an NA? NA.
Zoning classification of the property and the location of zoning district boundaries if the property is located in two or more zoning districts or butts a different zone, and of any aquifer protection district or resource protection rural district boundaries.
NA, that's all in the residential district?
We still have to have the zoning classification.
Yeah. So, is that,
In rural residential.
It's noted in the notes down below, I believe.
Okay, point it out to us, that'd be great.
Note 11.
Oh, yep.
so that's complete?
Great.
Oops. The bearings and distances of all property lines of the property to be developed and the source of this information, the board may require a formal boundary survey when sufficient information is not available to establish on the ground all property boundaries or zoning classifications.
No, the town acquired this property as a tax sale, a tax lien. Say both properties have not been, the property has not been paying taxes since the 1890s and early 1900s. They acquired Howard Mann to do a boundary survey, and that's what is reflected on this plan. Howard Mann is a licensed surveyor in Bowden, I believe. So they actually paid, the town actually paid to have this property surveyed, just the boundary survey portion of it.
So when was this tax acquired?
Let's see, about 10 years ago. The prior president of the league, Rod Stinson, actually found these properties that had not been paid taxes on in his own time. And once he brought them to the attention of the town, they moved forward with that process.
And we've had the lease since 2007, so it was prior to that.
Okay. So we have, that one's complete?
Yep.
The location of all building setbacks required by this ordinance.
One building is shown in between, the envelope's kind of a dotted line there.
Am I looking at the right thing?
So it's that?
Yep.
Do we have any other setbacks, or is it just building?
That's. We do if there's any resource protection or aquifer.
What about wetlands?
You've got the wetland offset marked, at least for one of them. The
It
one he's
looks-
not gonna mitigate.
So it looks like setbacks other than wetland, the buffer is defined to, a structure. So. I think we've got that right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we're
so
good.
that one's complete.
The location, dimensions, and ground floor elevations of all existing and proposed buildings on the site.
No dugouts?
Not,
Not structures, but a bench with maybe a cover over it, but that's nothing permanent.
Didn't your application talk about a shed, like a 24 by 24?
Yeah, that's shown. They've got 24 by 24 shown
But do we
right
have
there.
the elevations?
yes, you do.
Yeah, there's a finished floor elevation listed 206.
Oh. So we, okay,
Yeah. Finished
as
floor
opposed to
elevation.
an elevation
Right.
drawing.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's always the great debate.
Yeah, right. Alright.
We've had that one before.
It's not going up very high.
So we've got that complete?
Yeah.
Okay.
The location and dimensions of driveways, parking and loading areas, and walkways existing and proposed.
We've got that.
Location of intersecting roads or driveways within 450 feet of the site.
It didn't fit on the plan. There is an attached aerial image that shows all that. Oh, for the past 450 feet.
So we've got that.
Except for dwelling units not using a common subsurface disposal system, the location and dimension of all provisions for water supply and wastewater disposal, including a soil test taken pursuant to the requirement of the Maine State Plumbing Code, and complete description of soil conditions, type of subsurface or other wastewater disposal system, and draft plumbing permit application, etc. So there's not going to be
A subsurface wastewater disposal system. That's in it.
the location of open drainage courses, wetlands, stands of trees, and other natural features with a description of such features to be retained, and of any new landscaping planned, any buffer areas required by this ordinance will also be shown on such plan.
So I would say that that one, well, I guess we'll have to get into it when we get it shown, but you're not showing any new landscape. You do mention buffering, if I remember, in your narrative, but there's nothing shown yet on the plans.
Correct. We're planning on using existing vegetation.
The vegetation that's been cut down.
I think around the edges, I think was left.
Yeah, but you've got people across the street from your parking.
There's a graded, there's a berm there
Mm.
that we're maintaining. So that one's, we're relying on that.
All right, so you're showing what you intend. I guess we may, once we get in the application, debate whether or not we find it suitable. How's that?
Fair enough.
Okay. So we'll call it complete.
The direction of drainage across the site, both existing
It's okay.
and proposed.
So you have some lines shown. Is that mostly existing drainage directions?
Those are proposed drainage
Proposed,
flows.
okay. Do you have any idea how current, water currently moves through this?
All the existing
Area.
contours are the lighter ones. So
Okay.
all the water essentially drains to the back of the property into the much larger wetland. On seasonal high water, it actually overflows into this connected wetland that you see crossing that's going to be mitigated. But that only occurs when the wetland behind this property fills.
So it generally moves towards Swamp Road.
No, it's
On
completely
overflow.
away from Swamp Road, opposite.
Connects to the wetlands that drain out towards Evergreen Lane.
You said there's a lighter arrow or something? Is that what you said?
The lighter line work, dotted lines for the
Oh,
existing
okay.
contours.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's got enough.
Okay.
Location and dimensions of existing and proposed signs. Any signage?
Yeah, we are showing, one,
At the entrance.
4x6 sign,
Okay, okay.
double-sided. We're also showing, we're planning one-way directional for the parking lot, so I don't believe that's necessarily required by the ordinance, but we're also showing those traffic usage signs for the entrance exit and a do not enter at the exit.
Did you check our sign ordinance to see if that complies?
4x6, maximum size allowed.
Good.
Good?
Yep.
Okay. Location and dimensions of any existing easements and copies of existing covenants or added restrictions.
Are there any easements on this property?
Not that was noted in the lease.
Lease or on the face of the prior boundary plan, you feel no easements.
Okay.
Oh, NA. Location and type of exterior lighting.
None.
None.
So that's NA, or that's?
Yeah.
The quantity, location, storage, and containment of any hazardous materials or petroleum products in excess of 50 gallons intended to be stored or used on the site.
Will not be storing any more than 50 gallons at a time.
No 12 on the plan.
Perfect.
A utility plan showing in addition to provisions for water supply and wastewater disposal, location and nature of electrical, telephone, and any other utility services to be installed on the site.
There's one overhead to a pole that's going underground when it hits the property, and underground to the snack shack / storage facility, the 24 by 24.
Looks complete.
No irrigation proposed?
Correct.
With all that sand, how are you gonna keep that grass green?
Hoses and sprinklers.
Where are you getting the water from?
We are showing a well on the back corner of the snack shack.
So there is irrigation proposed, so.
Well, there's a well, but no in-ground irrigation,
Okay.
no fixed irrigation.
Have you thought about putting clay down before you put the topsoil on?
That is actually noted in the application documentation. Further down in the discussion about the existing soils.
So the well and the 24 by 24 support building, those are allowed within the setback of the wetlands, or do you think once the wetlands are filled in, that's allowed?
Once they're filled in, they should be allowed.
Going?
Yep.
A planting schedule key to the site plan and indicating the general varieties and sizes of trees, shrubs, and other plants to be planted on the site. You don't have any plantings.
Correct. As of now.
To be determined.
Copies of applicable state approvals and permits, including but not limited to any applicable state highway entrance permit, provided however that the board may approve conditional uses subject to the issuance of specific state approvals and permits where it determines that it is not feasible for the applicant to attain them at the time of conditional use review.
This is definitely condition.
That's one of their waivers they've asked for.
So, what are we calling that?
Waived?
I think we need a motion to waive.
Is it a waive, though? I mean, they're gonna provide it, we just, it's waiving it at the application, I agree. All right, motion to waive the requirement for having the state approvals and permits at the time of application review.
I'll second it. All those in favor? Okay. The schedule of construction, including anticipated beginning and completion dates.
That's the next waiver that they've asked for.
And we did provide discussion within the packet as well on.
That's on that paper. On that paper I gave you, there's a note that talks about that on the bottom of the page.
Based on kind of when the money's coming in, yeah.
Exactly.
So you guys were also requesting that we change the limitations on commencing the project. Is that right?
Correct.
I remember reading that. Do we have the authority to do that? I guess that's not. I guess we can talk about that later, right?
Right.
Okay. So are we calling that complete or waived?
I move that we waive this requirement and make it a condition of
Okay.
permit.
I'll second it. All those in favor? Accurate and do you want me to wait? Accurate and complete cost estimates of the development, a time schedule for construction, and sufficient financial information to determine the applicant's financial capacity to meet air and water pollution control standards and other standards and criteria contained herein. The following submissions indicate adequate financial capacity. A letter of commitment from a financial institution or funding agency for a specified amount of funds and the amount necessary to finance the development in conformance herewith and their use, or the most recent corporate annual report and supporting documents indicating sufficient funds to finance the development in conformance herewith, or copies of bank statements or other evidence indicating availability of the unencumbered funds sufficient to finance the development in conformance herewith when the developer will personally finance the project.
So this is the one that I have a lot of trouble with. And I guess we can waive it if folks are comfortable and talk about it in the approval criteria, but this one's a problem for me.
Yeah, I think there's so much hinges on them getting approval before they can really know the answer to that question.
So I'll make a motion to waive the submission of financial information at this stage, contingent on us addressing that in the approval review process.
Second.
All those in favor? A detailed description of the proposed conditional use, how it will operate, and any facts the applicant wishes to bring to the attention of the planning board, including information on financial capacity, neighboring water supplies, design of the project, and other information needed to demonstrate compliance with approval criteria, guidelines, and standards set forth below. Description will indicate how the proposed use will meet each of the general applicable performance standards of this land use ordinance. In addition to the application material required, the planning board may require the applicant or others to undertake studies where deemed necessary or desirable to protect the public convenience, safety, health, and welfare when considering the application.
I think we have that.
Dang, raincoats in the truck.
Complete.
Complete.
Motion to find complete.
9.
Where's 9? Oh my gosh, that's on another page.
9 does not apply.
Not apply, not applicable.
Never mind. I will second that motion.
What was I making it?
You did make
Oh, I
it.
didn't find this application is complete.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Okay. Now, do you want to take public comment?
Members of the public here want to make the public comment? You can come up.
There's maybe some room.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. Go right ahead. Say.
Can you, just for the microphone, sorry, the microphone for the,
This thing here?
yeah. I just want to say your name.
You'll have to pardon me if I ask silly questions. We were just informed about this 2 days ago. Monday night, we were informed that this was a meeting on this. We knew nothing about it. We never received anything from the town that this was going on. We never knew that that was going to be a ball field. So that's a little upsetting in itself.
Sorry, so can you,
please state your name and
My name is
address?
Tom Fournier,
okay.
and I live on 231 Swamp Road, lot 25.
So if I understand, basically the tax map is wrong. These two are flip-flopped. Is that
Correct.
correct?
How can they be flip-flopped? There's property on the other side.
So you
so-
abut
So
26,
you're telling me
right?
that your map is incorrect?
Oh, that often.
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
Yes, so I can shed some light on this. So we sent letters to all the abutters per the tax map, which is 25A, 25B. 25A is owned by Mrs. Lois Carter. I got a phone call from her over the weekend. I returned it on Sunday night. I went over and talked to her Sunday night. I have a picture of the map that they had for the development, which shows Mrs. Carter on the opposite side of Lot 25 from Lot 26, which shows, I mean, it pretty clearly shows that 25A and B are on the Evergreen Lane side of Lot 25.
So we'll get that map corrected. We'll send it to the mapping people, get it corrected.
So actually then, this 1.83 acres and 2.53 acres, he also clear cut along with the 10.5
No,
that he had?
that's, those two lots are where the 25 is. The 25 is where those two lots should be.
Okay, so you cut your 10.5 acres right up against my tree line, right up against my property line, dead on it. No buffer, no nothing, you're right on my property line. Our concern is that he's gonna build one ball field, where the car's gonna park. It's a tough road anyway, going down Swamp, it's used as a shortcut. And so the traffic there is a huge concern of ours. The other thing is that when the fields are complete, and there is a parking lot, are there any provisions for security in that parking lot at night?
It's
Are
not
they
required
gonna-
by the ordinance.
Are they going to be
Oh,
gated?
Let's let him finish.
Are they going to be gated, or are we going to have to deal with, I know when I was younger, and I had a place to go with a young lady, and whatever, yeah. And Swamp Road is a fairly desolate road, there's not a lot of houses on that road. And I really don't need to have that 100 feet from my house. So, it's,
So what was, before it was cleared, what was the buffer next to your property on that?
it was 10 acres of woods.
But, I mean, so I heard it was sort of scrubby little saplings. I'm asking you to tell me what it was.
It was 10 acres of woods. It was woods, it was trees.
She's saying, was it mature, big trees, or was it small?
When you say big, you gotta give me we're talking, it was, 12, 14-inch trees.
Yeah.
Is this what it looked like before it was cleared?
I think that's current, isn't it? I think that's is that a current?
That is prior to the remaining hardwoods being taken off last.
I mean, so
I
they
drove
cut
in
this
there
down
today,
10
it
years
looked a little
ago.
more clear than this
So-
does, so if you wanted to see what, it's,
Right.
I think this is, there's no date on this.
Yeah, that was after the initial clearing.
Yes.
And trust me, I do not want to stop this from going through. I just like to have provisions for for our safety, and because we're getting older, and for our privacy. I coached for 30 years. I know the passion behind it. I know how hard it is to find ice time, even though he's looking for baseball diamonds. I was a hockey coach. I know what that's like. But this is our life, this is our retirement, and we really don't want to disrupt that with things going on that we don't have any control over at night, whether it be traffic or hooligans or snowmobilers or four-wheelers or whatever. And we'd like to have provisions for that.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your concerns about the traffic?
The traffic, with that Swamp Road is a shortcut for everybody that goes from Auburn to almost anywhere. I mean, Bath, Brunswick, they all go that way. It's a road that is not patrolled very well by the police. there's a lot of speeding on that road. So the parking lot that they propose is would hold 108 cars. So if all fields are going, that just seems like a lot of traffic for that one road. And it's only gonna go one way according to what Mr. Howard's saying. So that means going one way is gonna be when they're leaving and all coming from the other way when they're coming in.
Okay.
So that's a concern.
I can say it would be almost never that all 108 parking spots would be leaving at the same time. That's for 4 fields. Games never all end at the same
Oh,
time.
never, they never do, and I'm aware of that.
That will be staggered, but part of the ordinances was the road capacity, and we are well within even with 108, if you put all 108 of those at the peak hour, we're still well within the capacity of Swamp Road.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anybody else?
My name is Rocky League. I
Can you
live,
come up and sit? Do you mind? Oh, no. You can.
my name is Rocky League. I live right across the street from the proposed ball field. And the concerns I have are this parking lot here. You say the existing berm. That might curtail the lighting from the vehicles there if you're at road level. But my house is across the street on the hill a little bit. I can see the entire field area. So any and all traffic is going to be visible to me. According to the paper I read, there's no existing lighting going in at the time. But at the end of it, it says, well, exactly that, no proposed lighting at this time. In the future, that may be. And then there's night games. Now all the cars in the parking lot are shining in my bedroom. That's my concern.
In order to do the lighting, we would have to come back to the planning board to amend the conditional use permit.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I might not be living there at that time. The other person's responsibility. I'm just looking out for my investment on the other side of the road.
My understanding of the ordinance is that the parking is supposed to be shielded from the public roadway, not that we have to shield it from hilltops above.
We can deal with that when we consider it. Promise. We're just taking public comment at this point.
But I was asking where the entrance and exits are going to be, and I was told they're going to be offset from my driveway, so I have no problem with that. I'd like to see this happen, but I'm just concerned with the lighting issue, and also, as he mentioned, the traffic coming up this hill from the town of Durham. It's a hill and a slight turn there, and traffic is really bad there. You can't see down over the hill for any oncoming traffic, and you got the entrance right there. I don't really see swapping them would be any different because of the visibility in this area here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, somebody mentioned security here. As this land has been opened more and more, I'm seeing more and more ATVs, snowmobiles, motorcycles on that property. If there's no security there, that's going to be a parking lot for snowmobiling, ATVing, and motorcycling. I'm the vice president of the Thompson Trail Riders, snowmobile and ATV club, and we're constantly getting calls from farmers, golf courses to come and repair their property because ATVs and motorcycles decided to go out and do donuts in the middle of the field. I'm just bringing that to your attention that maybe you need to look at some sort of security. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
I have a couple more concerns.
Can you say your name, please?
My name is Deborah Fournier. You mentioned that you're going to be irrigating the fields. Now, how, you're putting in a well, how is that going to impact all the neighbors' wells if you're going to be using water all summer long to water those fields? And also, you said your lawn treatments may follow manufacturer's instructions. Well, so does DEET. So how can you protect the birds and the wildlife if it's not organic or up to government standards for environmental purposes?
That would be covered under the stormwater treatment plan that's required by DEP.
So they use safe products?
There will be, which we expect that we will fall under a required individual permit, there will be treatment areas for that,
I don't understand what treatment areas mean.
areas where that will not run off onto, it contains the water and gets treated through vegetation rather than allowing that to get into either the groundwater or sheet flow off onto adjacent properties.
Yeah, but it's more than just the water. It's the grass, the land, everything that's going to be affected if you treat it. I mean, that is something to consider. Environmental is a big deal.
Well, that's one of our approval criteria, and we'll consider that.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Oh, and also, he already brought up the lights, which was another one of my concerns, because you were contradictory in your proposal. You said there weren't going to be any lights, and then later on you said, not at this time, which was a little touchy there. And I think you're very optimistic about the traffic, because I see big problems with the traffic. And Rocky was right. When you come down that hill, if you're coming down Durham, that intersection there is absolutely dangerous. And you're going to have maybe teenagers driving that at night. It is going to be very dangerous. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, the area I'm talking about. Yeah.
The Route 9 meets.
Yeah. I mean, that is horrible. So you might want to consider that, that's all. Maybe put up some kind of, I don't know, iridescent things on the road or something, but I don't know, but it is scary. I'm scared of it. I don't even go on it.
I've been on Swamp Road for 16 years and seen 3 deaths there.
Well, 3 is more than you need.
Yes.
So, anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
I'll go. Paul First, Swamp Road, 389 Swamp Road. And it's great to be here and to hear my neighbors and fellow residents on Swamp Road hear their comments about this project. So I've heard a lot of good comments, and at least in my opinion. And over the past couple of months, I've had the opportunity to work a little bit with both Joe and Bruce on this project and just helping out in a few small areas. But in doing that, I've had a chance to review the application and attend their project meetings. And I have to say, as a person who's a professional planner, as a professional town planner, I'm impressed by what I've seen. I think that they've put together a quality package, considering that this is a community-led project that is being put together by volunteers. And we've got a lot of capacity here, and I think it's a great opportunity for the town to have them both involved in the project. In my own opinion, I guess looking more broadly, I feel that having ball fields on Swamp Road and here in the community would be beneficial to Durham in a number of ways. I think that these are the kind of facilities that families like to see when they think about where they'd like to live.
when they're making choices about where they'd like to live. And also, you know, here in Durham, we're kind of course, you know, it's the old adage of the bedroom community. We don't have really a village center. And things like this help to strengthen community, places where people, neighbors can meet and they can talk and their kids can do stuff. So with regard to the traffic area, I've lived in my house for 12 years. I think the speed limit on the road is too high. And I know how DOT calculates their speed limits based on percentile. And you could probably argue with them until you're blue in the face, and they probably wouldn't change it. Now, that said, one thing that does help to change speed, which is based on percentile, is basically more traffic. It's creating some molasses, so to say. And I do think Swamp Road, the commuter traffic, it travels too fast, but I think something like this could be beneficial from the perspective of getting people to slow down, maybe even eventually getting, which, you know, I see that area as a neighborhood, getting DOT to lower the speed limit somewhat in that area. So I think these guys have come up with a scope for a project that is, you know, I've seen in my career, I've seen a few similar projects in small communities. And in my opinion, I think their scope is realistic. They're not aiming too high. They're not trying to, you know, do lighting and do a big concession project and, you know, bathrooms and all those other things. I think the scale is right for our community. And I think they've tried hard to minimize some of the impacts here. For example, with the lighting and the septic with the waste hauled off site. So, you know, I guess I look at this project and I think that there's still quite a bit of work to do, but I think it's a great opportunity for the community, and I'm really, really pleased to see the Little League bring this forward. So, and I plan to help where I can. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other members of the public? Okay. So now we will go through just some of
we don't have.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this old one if you want to read from it, and I can type.
So which ones you gonna do now? Approval criteria, or
Yeah.
Yep.
are you gonna follow them in the ordinance? Page 54.
How old is this old one? Will not result in undue water or air pollution.
So I think we had some concerns expressed about water pollution.
Sorry. So I think what we heard were some concerns about what was going to be used on the fields for treatments and how that would impact the neighbors, and also how the well and the irrigation might impact their water supply as well.
I think that's number 2.
Oh, sorry. We'll get to that number 2.
So, I mean, in our standard, makes reference to meeting the standards of the Maine DEP. And it says applicant will not degrade any of the surface or subsurface water supplies below the state's drinking water standard. And not lower the quality of the water below the state's secondary drinking water standard. May not alter the quality of any surface subwater in such a way to be adverse to affect fish, plants, or animals which might live in, around, or drink from such water, which is consistent with the concerns raised by the abutters. So, your statement on how you plan to maintain the fields. That's- You guys generally maintain these fields yourselves? Do you have a contract? How does that work for you guys?
That will be determined.
To be determined, okay.
I have contacted a couple local landscape companies
Mhm.
and was kind of quoted about $7,000 a year for maintenance of the facilities. You know, once we have the facilities, raising money actually gets a little easier because we can sell sign space on the fencing and whatnot, so that long-term.
Except you won't be selling sign space, 'cause then you'd be in violation of our sign ordinance, right?
Not facing the road. Are you talking in the ball
Yeah,
field
right,
complex?
yeah.
Sorry to interject.
Yeah, the ball fields all face the road there for the signage.
Not the backstops.
Well, no, not the backstops, but usually the signage is not on the backstops.
So
Does this ball field violate sign ordinance?
Or that one?
I don't know, it's
It has
town
sign-
property.
has Signage on the fence?
So we're not talking about the conditional use for that. That's town property. It's a town project. If the code officer doesn't feel it's a violation, that's not my problem. This one happens to be my problem tonight. So if you want signs on those fencing and you want us to approve that as part of this, we'll consider it under the sign ordinance. That was a throwaway comment that I suggest you take back and we will ignore.
Do you have fencing? You have fencing here?
Yes.
Entire thing's gonna be fenced?
In all ball fields by the league need to be fenced.
Chain
So
link?
there's a roughly, that's one of the bigger expenses. There's essentially 1,450 linear, no, excuse me, 2,500 linear feet of chain link fence on
So-
this property.
So, yeah, so that'll cut down on the four-wheeler and dirt bike
Correct.
traffic, yeah. Okay.
The only thing it doesn't have is a chain link encompassing the property. It's just each field is encompassed by fence.
Uh-huh.
So that won't fix the concerns about
But the
the
sign,
parking lot, which we can get to.
Mhm. So, I mean, I think, I'll give you what I'm, to say here. I think once we get through the permitting, the development of the site, the runoff from the fields, the parking areas, things like that will all be mitigated. But I think what we're maybe lacking is a little bit of definition of the operating, how the fields will be fertilized and weed killers and those things, to make a judgment on the impact of the project to the environment piece.
So, do you think that's something that can be addressed through a condition, or do you think that's something we need them to give us a plan for us to evaluate?
do they have a BMP for that type of thing for athletic fields?
Not that I'm aware of.
Usually you call it an integrated pest management plan, and
Well, I'm sure they must have dealt with this. There must be a protocol that you could get from someone to.
so I guess if we, what I'm struggling with is, there's not a lot shown in here for the water treatments yet. I think that's gonna change the character of the site a bit. It would be nice if we had a little bit more idea of how the stormwater was gonna be engineered for this. If you've already had your DEP, sounds like you've already had your pre-application meeting?
No.
It was a pre-application meeting.
How'd you slip a $20 bill to get that?
Actually, when we first started this project, like 8 years ago, we started including them right off the bat because we knew
Right.
about the wetlands being an issue, and we wanted to make sure that whatever we could fit in there, we could.
And you guys don't wanna do that until you have our approval. You're trying to put this all on me?
The problem is the stormwater and tier 1 permit's gonna be like $1,500, so why spend another $1,500 and then turn around and find out, oh, planning board doesn't quite like this, and have to go through the permitting again.
That's on top of the construction costs? Okay.
Part of the hard part for us is it's your burden to prove to us that it meets all these criteria. And I completely understand your chicken and egg problem, but if we don't have enough information to base it on, and you're like, well, this may move here or it may move there, it's too amorphous for us to make a decision.
Well, what's there really can't move a whole lot because there's no space to put anything else.
I get that.
We are maxed out.
Will the DEP permitting take care of your concerns, John? I mean, I understand not with the maintenance.
No, I
That's
guess.
the issue.
If it gets permitted, then it's gonna exceed Durham's ordinance standards, so I guess that's where we go with it.
Even for the maintenance.
No, I think
As-
I think we should include a request that they submit, their management plan for the property.
Do you know if the
To
school has a management plan?
the code officer?
Yeah,
To
but I
us,
don't know who's
to-
reviewing the code, well, that's the thing I'm struggling with is,
I mean, it's our obligation to
right.
find.
And we don't have something we can point the code officer to compare it to, right?
Right?
I'm sure Dennis has something at the school.
That's what I was thinking. It's gotta be.
Request, but
There's gotta be a protocol for,
Actually, there's a plan with the school project that we approved many years ago that was under the town. So there is a management plan for that that should be able to be pulled out, thick book about this thick in my cellar. Because this is really considered a town property, right?
right.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
So just like the school, where a lot of this was just done.
So what we could do is we could go through the rest of our criteria
Yep,
and table this until next month and give them the opportunity
sounds fine to me.
supplement with information that we need.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
we could look at what Freeport just did with their track. They might have.
It's artificial.
Guess they won't be. I guess they won't be.
I know
treating
that one intimately, no.
Guess they won't be treating that then.
What about the Hunter Road fields? They must have.
Freeport does have, and I actually believe it's, actually might even be online.
So they must have.
All right.
Hunter Road project?
No, it's owned by the town,
Is it
Freeport.
owned by the town?
Yeah, it's actually maintained by the RSU though. The RSU is contracted by the town to do the maintenance. All right, so skip water quality, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna skip number 2? No, skip number 1? I'm a little
We're
confused.
skipping
by-
number 1, so
I'm
it's
confused by
under
my
water air pollution.
Different sheets
Yeah.
here.
We're on approval criteria.
Number 2, is sufficient water for the foreseeable needs of proposed use, not cause an unreasonable burden on the existing water supply if it wants to be used.
I don't know if you know enough about this.
Yeah, are you in an aquifer?
We are not.
So the well that you're gonna be putting in will be for watering the fields?
Yep.
That kind of thing? And a water supply for the snack shack? Or?
There will be no potable water. That is not a cost we wanted to face with the testing and treating, and we'll gladly sell everybody bottled water.
Okay, so you're not irrigating, right?
Correct.
Because if you're irrigating, then you're gonna need to tell us the volume of the water you're gonna use to do that, and we're gonna have to determine that that isn't gonna impact the additional butters. If you're telling me you are gonna irrigate, then you need to give us an estimated volume of water and some burden that shows that the well can produce that without impact on aquifer.
So, I mean, I think the hard part is this says water will be available for irrigation purposes.
Well, irrigation, water typically goes right back into the same water source, because it just comes up and goes right back into the ground, so it's all sand there, so.
And that's fine if the engineer wants to provide documentation to that, and that might help us, right?
I mean, could this go along with some kind of management, field management plan in terms
Absolutely
of
could
how
be in that same
water
document.
supply and how things are gonna be watered and all that?
Okay. So we will suggest that we receive more information on that.
Will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or reduction in the capacity of the land to hold water so that a dangerous or unhealthy condition may result.
One thing I noticed, there's no erosion control plan, but as Joe pointed out, in the ordinance, it didn't require it, but that doesn't mean the plan couldn't ask for one.
And that will be required for the DEP stormwater permit, so.
That's where the stump, they want, DEP wanted the stump dumps to go away because they wanted to use that for the erosion control.
Right, that's one of their new favorite ponies.
But we don't have enough information without that plan to, I think that's what they're asking for. I don't know how you make that determination without that.
I think that would be met through the state permitting process.
I would be fine with making a erosion control plan a condition of the permit, the submission of a erosion control plan prepared by a appropriately qualified engineer.
To whom?
To the code enforcement officer.
Or the planning board? To the planning board? I would make it to the planning board, so you'd be part of your final sign off, just like we do in the subdivision.
Do you have more info on that one?
Yep.
For clarification for my purposes, where we are requesting that the permit, the conditional use permit, be based upon getting state permits in the future, that soil erosion control plan will be part and as required per the stormwater permit. So would we need to prepare a separate one for the town, or would that be?
You submit the one you've prepared for the main DEP.
Right,
so with a copy of it.
because we wouldn't have final approval till we had all the other permits in place, so that would be the same plan, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we don't need a separate plan.
Well, same plan. I want to make sure we're clear on expectations. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through and we're going to approve whatever we feel like we can approve. And if there are things we don't feel like we have enough information to approve, we will table this if you would like us to. and you could submit additional information, including the erosion control plan. So you won't have our approval until we can evaluate that erosion control plan. It can be the same plan that you're gonna submit to DEP, but we're not gonna give you your approval even with conditions until we get that and a few other pieces. Just wanna make sure we're all on the same page.
We're here to see if you guys like this.
Well, that's not an approval criteria, so. Okay, so we'll just keep going, as long as we're all on the same page, we'll just keep going through the criteria and.
If we had a sketch plan process, this would be so much easier, because you guys would be, all right, we're not too far off target.
Right.
We can get
I
there.
know, yeah,
This is
I know.
brutal.
This is brutal. And it's past my bedtime.
Will not cause highway or public road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to use of the highway or public road existing or proposed. I know traffic was one of the concerns that came up.
Right.
And on their plan, they do show that they meet the site requirements as required by the ordinance. I mean, whether you want to have that reviewed independently or have,
Does this require an entrance? Is it a state road?
no.
It's not, it's a town road.
There is additional discussion on that as well under the performance standards. Item 6F3 talks about the road capacity itself.
Did you guys, in your narrative, give us volumes, like how often, how many vehicles, how often for the site?
Yeah, so in that section, basically what I used is Maine DOT has a map viewer program. They list an AADT for Swamp Road of 1370. A very common conversion to a peak hour is 10% of that. There is a directional distribution, we're assuming 50% for that. Brings the hourly volume on Swamp Road to 70. Even if you applied all 108 parking spots in the same peak hour, which is probably not quite realistic, you're still well low of volume of 1,000 vehicles per hour for Swamp Road. It's the theoretical capacity.
And what about site distances from the
Site distance,
entrance and exit?
I actually check site distance from both locations, for both, as if a car was going the wrong way through the parking lot and through the right way, and we more than exceed. There's actually, there's a plan view for each entrance that kind of shows the site triangles, and then there's a profile that shows that we're meeting the 3.5 foot eye and, or 3.5 foot object and 4.5 foot eye with no impingement on that. For the ordinance requires 425 feet at 45 miles per hour.
And what did you have? What did you come up with?
I only checked that we exceeded the 425. I do not calculate the actual provided.
So Calvin, what flexibility do you have in traffic calming measures, signage and such, if we were to construct an athletic facility out there, a recreational facility out there, to address the concerns of kids and high-speed vehicles?
Well, that would be,
As a road commissioner, not your CEO role.
it's up to the board as to what you want to impose for them. If you want to put signage in each direction, so many feet from, I could check the MUTCD book and see what is allowed. And
So you don't know offhand what would be allowed?
I'd have to look at the manual and see.
In my perspective, if we put children playing signs on a dead end neighborhoods on a through street with a with an athletic complex, I think it would be appropriate to add some signage and
Yeah.
then maybe make it a condition that they pay the bill, but.
I know that the schools use the neon yellow, and I know that you're not allowed to use that anywhere else. So I don't know if this would apply, if we could use it here where it's.
No, I think I think the children at play or whatever, that sign is probably the most appropriate.
We could put up some signs that said, traffic entering ahead. I mean, I can look in the manual, it tells me what I can use. And
It does make, anybody that lives on Swamp Road, like say I've been there 16 years, knows that 45 is not the adhered speed limit at any point. It's at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, it's 65, sometimes 70.
Yeah, the 45 is the minimum.
Yeah.
Brief comment?
Sure.
Okay. So although this isn't a state road, DOT still sets the speed limit. Now, they do have provision to lower the speed limits around schools. I don't know about athletic complexes. It might be worth a call to Tim Susi, the guy who's the traffic engineer for the state, to see if, what the state standard is for appropriate speed limits. So something more concrete than just a warning sign. It might allow you to lower the speed limit next to a ball field. It might be worth seeing what that standard is.
So, a couple comments. Obviously, we can't require the applicants to lower the speed limit or pursue lowering it. So do we think we don't have enough information to decide this? Do we think we have enough information to approve it? Or do we think
I
we have enough information to disapprove it on this criteria?
You could make a condition that the road commissioner will verify site distance or something to that.
I mean, we don't have any information that the site distances are incorrect as calculated.
I mean, we generally accept the engineers submitted
Right.
site distances. I'm okay with site distance. I'm okay with the volumes. It would be great to have some provisions for traffic calming near the facility. I just question whether we can put that on the applicant on a town road. I guess is my piece.
No, that would be up to the town. The town could put those. I mean, I guess you could ask them to pay for them, but we would have to install. It's in the public right of way, so.
Right.
Could we ask the applicant to approach MDOT to get a determination as to whether or not we can lower the speed limit, or what?
I think Calvin has to do the.
Be the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be done through the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a private thing.
Just don't let them do a speed study out there. You may end up with a 50-mile-per-hour speed limit.
And that
instead of
sometimes, sometimes does happen. You ask them to go out and review, and they actually up to the speed limit.
Because it's based on the 85th percentile, and where the 85th percentile is always over 45 miles per hour.
I feel like we have some pretty detailed information that's meeting our ordinance.
So
It just sounds like unfortunately the speed
we're
limit is
probably
not
going to be doing a
necessary.
site walk at some point. We could probably look at that then and see what it feels like out in the field.
Oh, do we have to do a site walk?
Well, I think it gives you a first-hand view of what the neighbors are seeing and feeling.
Okay, so, I mean, I would move that we find that this will not cause additional highway or public road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to the road as proposed, because it has adequate sight lines and driveways are located appropriately. Now, when we go through the actual performance standards, if we're gonna go through those separately, trust me, Betty, there's a whole bunch of other stuff about how they construct their entranceway and such.
I will second the motion.
All those in favor? Will provide for adequate sewage disposal in conformity with the state plumbing code and all other applicable regulations.
That this project does conform with the state plumbing regulations with the use of portable toilets provided by are they licensed?
So there are standards for how many toilets per person, so I would like to impose that as a condition.
What you could ask for and what's required in the shoreland zone is that the applicant has to produce, show a contract with a pumping company to maintain them, because you can put them in, and if they're not going to be maintained, so.
It'd be nice to see something with a maintenance plan for those as well, so that an off-season, maybe they're off-site, so they don't attract.
Like in the shoreline zone, you have to, if you're going to have a site down within so many feet of the water, you have to show, demonstrate a yearly contract with the pumping company, with the company that's going to maintain those.
I can tell you what the Durham Youth Baseball League has been doing for probably 3-4 years, is during baseball season, we have contracted with GA Downing to provide a porta potty at the school. They have come, they maintain it monthly. It's like $105 a month, I believe, that we've paid, just because with the RSU, we don't have the access to the facilities in the school building, so that, we would be looking at that same arrangement, where we would be renting the porta potties, which would be inclusive of the maintenance on that.
How many would you have?
We're anticipating 2 right now, potentially 3. And it's one of those things where there's no, it's kind of like with the leach field septic design. There's nothing really that covers
this type
of usage.
Yeah.
So the thing in our advantage is, if 2 is not cutting it, then we get a 3rd. But I mean,
And if this is phased, it could be 5 years from now before we actually need a 3rd.
Obviously, we'd love to get in there and get it all done and get the heck out of there. But
If you phase this project and you put in just one field first, what are you gonna do for parking then?
the anticipation would be that we would build the entire parking facility all at once.
Before you put in the first one?
Mm-hmm. You're not mixing construction, you're not dealing with different contractors and different gravel. It's all the same.
Okay, so you wanna propose a different motion?
Do we want them to propose a plan for the porta potties, or do we just want to put in a condition?
I don't think we need a plan for porta potties. I think we make a condition that they
Okay.
have a contract in place.
So then I will make a motion to find that this criteria is met on the condition that the facilities meet state standards for the number of individuals, and then an appropriate maintenance plan is in place, maintenance contract.
Second.
All those in favor? The proposed development will have adequate fire protection.
Agree with that one?
You talked to the fire chief and all about this?
We have not.
No. Do you know where the nearest hydrant is to this?
There's a there's a fire pond on Evergreen Lane, then you've got Newell Brook at the other end of the road.
There's really not much to burn, but
And then you also have Meadow Brook just past Evergreen Lane.
then you got one 24-foot building.
move that we find that this project has adequate fire protection with limited structures and nearby fire ponds for water source.
I'll second that. All those in favor? Will not have an undue adverse effect on the scenic or natural beauty of the area, aesthetics, historic sites, or rare and irreplaceable natural areas, any deer wintering areas identified by the Maine Department of Fish and Wildlife or other agency, or any public rights for physical or visual access to water bodies.
So generally with a site this large, and as part of your DEP permit, you're going to need to request all those letters from.
We have
Inland
already
Fish
made
and
contact
Wildlife.
with MHPC and
Right. So,
IF&W, it's for the deer wintering areas and special rare habitats.
Throwing that?
yeah.
Have you talked to them about that?
they weighed, Fish and Wildlife weighed in on the pool on the property, but there was no mention of any deer wintering or anything like that.
So one of the,
They were involved as part of the,
There probably isn't any
The-
wintering area anymore.
yeah.
There might have been at one time.
I wasn't going to go there, but
Yeah, they were involved as part of the wetland evaluation.
So, yeah, you should reach out to the biologist and get that letter. There's a standard process right on their websites to do all that. Natural Resources Program, Historic Preservation, and IF&W. You're gonna need it for your DEP permit anyway. So, compliance with town ordinances, so this is where we look at our setbacks and all that other stuff.
Do we want,
what was the decision on number 7 was?
We need more info.
More info.
do we want to come back to number 8 after we do the rest of it or not?
Sure.
It doesn't.
I mean, per the ordinance, it is an allowed use, it's a conditional use in the zone.
What zone are we in? Rural
Rural
residential.
residential.
Rural residential transitional district.
So minimum lot size doesn't count, doesn't matter. We have the road frontage. Setbacks don't matter because of the structure. Structure height is less than 35 feet. There are no dwelling units. Maximum lot coverage they meet. Maximum coverage for impervious surfaces they meet.
Do we know that?
Are the ball fields considered impervious surfaces?
They are not.
The infield sure as hell would be.
Yeah, I don't think they would, I don't think they would exceed that.
DEP has not said that, actually.
Really?
They have just considered the gravel parking lot. I've actually asked that question directly, and they said no.
So-
The organic mat as actually being where the walkways are instead of the fields.
So impervious surface for our ordinance includes buildings, concrete, asphalt, and all other similar surfaces that shed water so as to prevent absorption to the ground at the point where the water first hits the ground.
I don't know, when I've taken a slide on a clay field, I'm sure it feels like concrete.
I don't.
I mean, you guys probably meet the numbers, but did you run them? Do we have the numbers?
Impervious area for the parking area is 41,480 square feet.
Compared to an entire site of 10 acres?
Yep. That's just under 10%.
Yep. And we're allowed 20? Right?
Where are you looking?
I don't remember now. Yep.
25 for impervious. Maximum lot coverage for impervious is 25. So you're at 10 with the parking lot, not including any fields.
Going fields, not including the walkways, which DEP is considering possibly wanting to add. The walkways are generally 8 to 6 feet wide.
So softball fields are gonna be are they gonna be all clay, or are they gonna be grass with just the clay?
Grass was just the clay on the base path area.
Okay, so they're not all clay on the field for softball.
Correct.
I think it would be appropriate for them to submit the areas at least in a report to us, so that we have something that backs up that you met their ordinance requirements, and it's not just our judgment of the areas on the map. I don't think you're gonna have a problem meeting the standard, we should have the documents so we can back ourselves up.
Do you want more information on that?
Yeah.
Sounds, looking at is everything that we have to do for DEP, you're gonna want the full package at your fingertips. That's what it sounds like.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like any other town was gonna make you do.
We're there. Next step.
So yeah, question on the setback. I just want to be 100% certain.
Yep.
I read it all enough. Should have spent more time with this. Any concern about the building, the fencing, backstops, and other things in the setback area?
So I think setback.
How did we define, I just want to double check how structure's defined.
So setback is defined to a principal or accessory structure.
Okay.
Structure is defined.
This goes back to our,
Anything constructed or erected with a fixed location on or in the ground, or attached to something having a fixed location on or in the ground, excluding driveways, walkways, patios, and other paved surfaces, and fences and stone or brick walls used for area separation and not as part of a building. So I don't think the fences count.
so the fences, that's the one that was, it looks like really, that backstop there would be in the setback though. So we're gonna consider the backstop part of the fencing?
I don't know.
It's gonna have a fence.
Generally, it is.
Your definition of fence?
No.
I'm okay with accepting the backstop as fence, but in 10 years, when a fundraising group wants to go put a dugout right here, then you're gonna have a structure. And so you might wanna think about your layout. I know you don't have any room to move things around, but years from now, somebody's gonna show up, wanna build that. Code enforcement officer's gonna be the bad guy for saying you can't put a dugout there because you're in the setback.
We can have an A and a B field. All the good stuff.
We'll just provide sunscreen.
Okay.
So where do we come out with that? So that one, we want more info on the impervious surface?
Yes.
The other piece to that one are this is a recreational facility, right? what we're calling this.
Yep.
There are performance standards for recreational facility. It probably falls under this number 8. 32.
32.
So adequate off-street parking or anticipated maximum attendance, containers and facilities for rubbish collection and removal, adequate screening, buffer area or landscape provisions shall be built, planted, or maintained to protect adjacent residences from adverse noise, light, dust, smoke, and visual impact. Standards ordinance found in section 7 in this article governing such impacts shall be used to judge the compliance of a facility with such standard. So I think that we have that separately, don't we?
And landscape shows up in the performance standard for conditional use as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to talk about landscape since we're there? So that's probably one of my bigger concerns with the job is if you're going to have this vehicle traffic here, these cars parked here, there's a little bit of a berm there. But by the time you build up your road and do everything else, I don't think this is adequate to protect the neighbors on the other side from all the parking lot activity. I really do think you need to show some landscape screening for the neighbors on that side. I don't necessarily, because the plan is cut so tight, it's hard to judge towards the Brunswick side of the line what might be necessary here for screening. It appears that there's quite a bit of vegetated area here, but I'm not sure about to this abutter. To plan was the north. So yeah, to the east.
And we had some concerns expressed about that as well.
Right. So I think a landscape buffering plan would be appropriate, showing what exists for natural buffering already and what you would propose for additional buffering for the site.
What's already there, would that be what is left for each tree? And then supplement those trees?
If you have a wood, if you want delineated wooded area, that here's the trick: it needs to be your buffer. You can't count his buffer.
No, agreed.
So if there's nothing there,
there's essentially a 10, 15-foot area of swath that's still on this property that not
Okay.
one tree was touched.
all right.
So do we need to know where those trees are?
Not
then to
individually, if
supplement?
you want to show me what you have for a buffer, and probably some pictures from the site might help the board visualize it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And there's I don't know if you've looked at it already, but we've got a specific section on landscaping and buffering. That's what we'll be considering.
Which page?
61. And I think you also heard the concerns of the neighbors. So.
Yes.
Okay, so that was 8. 9 is adequate financial and technical capacity. And this is my concern.
Is that right, Amy?
So the biggest part of my concern is that this gets started and then never gets finished, and particularly the mitigation measures. So I think we'll take a pass on this one for now, but maybe consider whether you want to do phased, whether you want to tell us you're not going to start until you can prove to the code officer that you have $100,000 in the bank, whether you want to post a performance bond, like something to make me feel better about this.
We all want to feel better about it, yes.
And I'll, straight up, I'm extremely impressed by the package you guys put together. I've worked with a lot of nonprofits, and this is a really professional package for a volunteer organization. But it is a volunteer organization, and track records of, you get it. I'm preaching to the choir. So help me feel more comfortable with this, please, especially with all the wetland mitigation and everything that needs to happen.
Let the begging begin.
Right.
And actually, within our Tier 1 permit, there actually is not required mitigation. It is just the Tier 1 permit.
Okay.
So, does the planning board wanna, do you have a cutoff time, or?
Yeah, we're
Like
way later.
It's gonna wait.
an hour ago.
I'm not gonna be able to stay much longer.
Yeah, no, I'm done. Toast. Do you guys want to run through quickly the rest of the approval criteria and then table this until next month?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
there's a couple here that are no-brainers, I think.
Can I ask a
Lake Pond
question?
to Stream.
When you table it, are we required to notify all the butters again at the
Nope.
next meeting?
No.
Okay.
Nope, basically the public notice that it's been tabled is notice to everybody who might have wanted to participate. And actually we'll address when you want us to table it to, next month or whether you want more time.
We'll regroup and
Okay, so whenever situated in whole or in part within 250, I don't think we have any of those here, right? So so I will make a motion to find that one does not apply. There's a second, and everybody votes in favor of it?
All in favor?
Will not, alone or in conjunction with existing activities, adversely affect the quality of groundwater. I think we're gonna get some more info on that.
Correct. Flood map.
We have one of those, and
Flood maps
Submitted
provided
it.
in the package. Not in a flood zone.
So,
We're good.
so NA, cause it's not a flood zone?
Mhm.
13, they need more information.
Will not have an adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life. That's kind of along with the other one. Some more information for that.
Yep,
That's just a letter from Fish and Wildlife.
correct.
Will not cause noise, odor, glare, or vibration to disturb the peaceful enjoyment of the adjacent property.
So I think the landscape buffering ties back into this criteria as well. I think we should
Okay.
wait for the additional information to review and.
Now, in researching that for the performance criteria, obviously,
No.
what the best I was able to come up with is there was a case study, I think it was presented at a noise conference.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had built a field complex, had like 4 soccer fields, 8 baseball fields, some t-ball fields, and it was within 15 feet of property lines. And they had actually measured the sound, and it, from what I recall, and I actually discussed this under the performance requires 14, with the field being within 15 feet of the property lines, they were measuring the noise at the lines at 50 to 60 decibels, with occasional peaks of 70. We're not having lights, we're not having, there's no intention of PA systems or something like that.
It's not a lot of whistles in baseball.
Not a lot of whistles. We're providing more than the 15 feet, obviously.
No soccer.
The landscape. So I think from a contextual basis, I think we will be well within the noise ordinance. As much as you can tell without actually having built it and doing a noise study after the fact.
vehicles
Trust me,
going-
I'm doing that right now.
The vehicles going by at 50 to 55 make more noise.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, nobody expressed noise concern if your neighbors did. You're better, so. But we'll consider that when we have info on buffering. Will not place an excessive burden on the ability of the town to provide municipal government or educational services.
That's
I think that one's met
yep.
because there will be no additional burden on those
Right.
particular
I'll second that as a
services.
motion.
Seconded.
Yeah, as a motion.
All's in favor?
No one else is awake in town.
Okay, so, do you want a month, or do you want 2 months? What do you want? I can table it for a month, and you can come back and tell us to table it for another month?
He was optimistic, let's shoot for the month.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to table this, until our October meeting.
Second.
And what date would you like to know that we're not gonna follow it?
What's our
Oh,
deadline?
Let's have a contingency.
There's a deadline
I
too.
lost my agenda. Do you have it?
September,
days prior
September
to.
25th?
So the next meeting's on October 4th, so any additional information said it was due September 25th, is that the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so September 20, it's a Monday, so really the Friday before would be preferable.
I mean, either way, we have to show up to retable it.
Be here.
We'll do what we must.
Our next
Did
meeting's
we
October
vote on that? Did I do?
4th.
All in favor?
Do you know how
remember.
quickly
I don't remember.
Fish and Wildlife usually gets back? Is there a?
They've been quicker lately.
Well, that's good.
They might be cutting it close.
Last one I did, I just drove right down there with the paper and.
I think they got it.
Yeah, they get to the point where it's kind of a pain.
But then
It's all in GIS now. You used to be a little bit more to it, but now they look at the GIS and send you like canned letters, so.
Who wants to talk about marijuana ordinance?
Can we table that too, please?
I think what we need to do is we need to schedule a workshop
I agree.
outside
I
of
said
our
that to Mindy
regular.
before
Just
too.
just the planning board, or with for us to talk about?
Well, the
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a public,
Yeah.
it'd be a public session, but we don't take public comment at that
Do we
time.
need to do that in the month of September?
Well, the select board has scheduled a meeting at
On the
the
moratorium.
high school, so I don't know if you wanna.
I suggest that
I've been a
we,
little out of touch the last few weeks.
so that's what, next week?
I don't remember the date.
I got on my calendar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
No,
patience.
19th.
Bye,
We
nice
have,
to
we
see
have
you.
hope, is what you're saying. We have hope.
Yeah,
Maybe from what I saw though, the next meeting should be first on the list instead of second.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry about that. But you may also just want to talk to your neighbors. The less cranky people, the easier our
You
job.
ready to come back as an alternate?
Talked to,
What's that?
You ready to come back as an alternate?
didn't come, the cars are immediately next to it. They didn't come because I've been talking with them every time I'm on site, so.
Yeah, no, the neighbor meetings go a long way to.
So, public hearing on
Smiley
marijuana.
face on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Joe.
All right, so public hearing on marijuana is the 19th. So what, if we're gonna do a separate workshop? we
No,
should
but
do
that's
it
just
following.
on moratorium, right?
I know, but it'd be good to kind of hear what comments might be out there, no?
By the way, I'm going to an entire convention on regulated.
Are you going to the
pot.
MMA thing?
No, I'm going to Denver.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're gonna be the pro. You better not bail on us after.
So we should do it after the 19th?
After she goes to her convention.
Which is in October. I don't think, so we've got a moratorium. That's gonna put us out for at least 6 months. I think it's important that we think about it, because regs will come out, like, they're scheduled like February of 2018.
Yep.
But if you wanted to wait until November, I will have gone to a convention, pot.
Okay.
Or we can do it sooner, but I think we should do it outside of our regular meeting.
No, I agree.
Okay.
No, I think we just want to do it after you come back from Denver.
So we'll do something in November.
Sounds good.
And also, the further we push it, the more we know what the state's doing, because that's a big piece of it.
Did everyone get the sample ordinance stuff that we sent? Or did that just go to you and me?
I don't know. I got it.
I got a whole bunch of stuff.
I'll just forward a bunch of stuff. I'll just forward stuff to people. Obviously, don't have my head in the game. Is there a motion to table that?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All's in favor? We're adjourned.
That one's gonna be rough. I gotta go listen to lawyers.
I have to go fight with lawyers. To go quash a subpoena tomorrow.
I have to go feed a baby in like an hour and a half.
Contract update with Carol Dana.
Feral Dana. Lame. At least it's not Freddie Flaherty.
Rob's done my contracts for
Who is it? School age children, yes, no?
He's done.
My son's gonna be 23.
Thank you.
He just graduated from college a couple of years
He's
ago.
funny because he actually
Well, for
like
you.